Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káalẹ́ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. We're starting in just about a few minutes. I say good evening and welcome to the program. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ wo topic tí a fi sọ̀rọ̀ lé lálẹ́ yìí. We have a lot to discuss and it might take us about 3 hours. Yoruba nation is non-negotiable. Self-determination is not a crime. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé salamu alaikum and welcome to the program. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn Christian, mo kí àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò tiwa lálẹ́ yìí again. Once again, my name is Olayemi Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Akí wòlíì, akí aláàjì, akí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Wow, that was a very beautiful one. Talent olúkálùkù bá ní òun náà ni a fi máa ṣe ìrìnàjò Yorùbá nation. I welcome you once again to the program as we're just about to start. Afẹ́fi tẹlẹ́dùmarè, afẹ́fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ti alẹ́ yìí, gbogbo ohun tí a bá tún sọ kó wọ etí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá tó ń bẹ nílé tó ń bẹ lóko pé ìdà tí à ń torí ẹ̀jà yìí is called self-determination. And self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is giving us our own economy. It will give us our own security. It will give us and protect us as the ethnic people. Ìdí tí a ṣe ń sọ pé ká dá dúró nìyẹn. A dá dúró nítorí pé kí a tún wá lọ nira wa lára nígbà tá a bá délẹ̀ Yorùbá. A fẹ́ dá dúró so that kí àwa náà lè wà ká lè wà outstanding as people, kí a lè dá yàtọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìran tí Elédùmarè dá dáadáa. And that is the reason why we are doing what we are doing. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ tún jókòó kí n tún ṣe àwọn analysis fún wa lálẹ́ based on what is going on out there. A máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí bàbá wa Adeboye. And he says, and I quote, before we play the anthem and then we will kickstart. These are the areas. Okay. I think my system just frozen. Let's have a look. Once again, a very good evening. And let's see if my mouse comes back. I hope you can still hear me. Because I cannot move my mouse. I know you can still see me, but my mouse is actually not responding yet. So I'm not sure why. And if that is not responding, that means it's either we start the broadcast all over again But I know you can still hear me. Thank you so much. But my mouse has actually frozen. So let me see if I can use an external mouse instead of starting the program all over again. So for a few minutes, can feel low mouse me because the touchpad is not responding. And if that is not responding, I might not go ahead. I might probably have to restart the whole system. But if the external mouse works, then we will probably won't have to do that. With about the facial program van, and the system has been sleeping all day. I've not actually used it. Okay. If it doesn't respond, then I won't have any choice than to start the program all over again. Let's have a look. That's what happened with the system. All right. But behind my scene, my mouse is not responding, and that is not gonna be able to do the job that we want. Yeah, I can see it's gonna crash. All right. Okay. All right. All right. What we better do? Definitely, I need to restart the system. It seems the system needs to be rebooted. We'll come back in just about a few minutes. All right, let's restart the system and see. It does happen like that. Technology. Okay. All right. It seems it's back. Let's have a look. Okay. I think I'm back now. Okay. I think I'm back now. We can see you. That's in Nigeria. All right. I don't put the respond missing, so that's fine. So we don't have to restart the whole system. I do prefer love. Ìyá mi tẹ́ wà lọ́hùn ẹ ti fàdúrà tí pé ẹ má yẹ kẹ́ program ta lẹ́yìn. All right, so let me move forward swiftly because I've actually spent some few time. So ẹ jẹ́ ká wo àwọn tí mo fi discuss lálẹ́. Mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí lecture tí ó wà delivered pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá wa nílé, bàbá wa Ayọ̀ Ọ̀pádòkun under the auspice of the Coalition of Yoruba Self-Determination Groups that was held at the NUJ Press Center, Ibadan, Oyo State yesterday. I'm going to talk about that. All these can be downloaded on koikimedia. It's already there. All you have to do is go to koikimedia, Elosori Yoruba document files, and you can download it. Please do not ask me to send it to you. I will not do so. It is actually on koikimedia for you to download. Okay? That's for number one. Number two, mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí a bit of what our brother are doing as well, the Yoruba Strategic Alliance. This is a proposed constitution of Orile Ede Yoruba. Is not the constitution that can propose. It's just something that they are thinking we should have. Does not mean it's going to be, okay, I'm going to change the date. Somebody is just bringing my attention to my date. I'm going to edit that quickly while we're still right here. Today is the second, not the first. We probably missed that. That's the, thank you so much for bringing my attention to that. And I'm going to get that updated. I use a OBS for the benefit of those of you that probably wants to do the same thing that we are doing. We need as many media to talk about Yoruba Nation. Don't wait for CNN, don't wait for BBC, don't wait for all the... You start as well. A lot of illiterate are out there that do not understand the meaning of media. Media is an independent, and it has the right to ask for money from the public. But we have so many illiterate people that say, Yoruba Nation, so I have lived in UK for 23 years, and I see, well-to-do media organization like the Guardian, the Evening Standard, and it is the public that Louis a máa ń ra Evening Standard ní kó tó di pé àrà mọ́ àwọn kan ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe advert tí wọ́n fún wọn lówó tó pọ̀ táwa fi ń mú lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ṣé paper tá a mú lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn ǹjẹ́ wọn ò ní sanwó production paper yẹn? But we can't blame people because there are so many illiterate people and we just have to keep educating them. And reason that ṣe láti kúrò ní Nàìjíríà náà ni because illiteracy is a disease. And if illiteracy is a disease, it literally means that part of us, including maybe myself and millions of Yoruba people, are illiterate. Kò ń ṣe illiterate ti English ni mò ń sọ pé àgbọ̀ English, but illiterate pé wọ́n understand tó ń pè ní media. So, and we need as many people. So, ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ṣì ń wò wá náà, ìwọ náà lọ dá media sílẹ̀. Ó yẹ nísìn tó bá sọ pé òun gbowó lórí ẹ̀, sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni òun gbowó lórí ẹ̀. Koikimedia ń gbowó lórí ẹ̀, kò sí nǹkan kan tó bad níbẹ̀. So, media ni. So, ẹ má bínú, mo kàn fẹ́ change the date yẹn ni. Because if not, tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ mo lè má tún lọ rántí mọ́. So when people like that talk, just ignore, these illiterate people that do not understand what they call media. 40, èló là ń ra Evening Standard nígbà yẹn, wọ́n náà fi ara ní 10p, bí i 20p, 15p. Nígbà yẹn tó bá dé Liverpool Street, coins máa ń wà lọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàbá yẹn. Tó bá ti fún ọ ní owó, wá fún ẹ ní change, wọ́n ti tó change yẹn sílẹ̀. Ìgbà tó yá, wọ́n ní ká má rà mọ́. Metro newspaper títí díẹ̀ ní eléyìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò sí advert lórí platform yìí, in táwọn tíìmù wa sọ ni pé à ní ṣe advert, lórí ẹ̀. So that means we need a donation. Ẹ fún wa lówó ẹjọ́, I need owó fún platform wa Koikimedia. Mo mọ bí tí date yẹn wà, but I will change that. Kì máa kí yẹn kó dára dúró. Ẹ ká play anthem wa because I've actually run 17 minutes and that's not too good. I want to start the program very, very quickly and swiftly. Màá change date yẹn along the line. Ẹ má worry. Ẹ jẹ́ ká play anthem wa. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún jọ ṣe analysis lálẹ́ yìí. Ẹ máa láǹfààní àti pè, but for now, please do not call and interrupt until when I'm ready to take my calls. Ẹ kúkú mọ̀ pé àwa máa ń fún yín láyè kẹ́ pè dáadáa. Let's go ahead and hear the Yoruba Nation anthem. And I say good evening once again and welcome. There will be a lot of English nítorí pé most of the document àbí article tí mo fi kà èmi ò tí gbọ́ Yorùbá dáadáa láti kà ní èdè Yorùbá, and I don't think it came as well in Yoruba language. It's actually in English, and everything that I'm going to read here, apart from article and one newspaper, you can go there yourself. I can share the link with us. So these are what we're going to discuss tonight, so that you have an idea bitafin law and where you want to respond. Ẹ mú pen and paper. Èmi náà kódà mú tútù lọ́ra ìmí. Ṣé rí ìtàgbédá ní tẹ́yìn náà bá ń kọ síta, ìran yín wá rántí pé fáìlì táwọn ọmọ yín náà máa sọ pé nígbà tó ń jàjà òmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwa náà jà. Bàbá mi, báwo lẹ ṣe jà? Nígbà tí mo máa ń wo gbogbo àwọn mídíà, mo máa ń take note, ẹ kọ déètì sí. Ó wà very, very important. Bó ṣe bá ń fún, mo ti ńlá mo lọ rà, eléyìí nísìn, ó ti kún, mo tútù ra eléyìí. Ṣé rí gbogbo nǹkan tí mo ń ṣe yìí, màá wá bind in tí wọ́n máa fi kọ biography. Nígbà tá a bá délẹ̀ lérí, kò ń ṣe nísìn. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín fẹ́ mọ too many things, but it's not going to happen before we go into the program. So a máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí the proposed constitution. Gbogbo document yìí tẹ́ bá lọ sórí Koikimedia, ẹ bá níbẹ̀. ẹ lọ síbi tí à ń pè ní Yoruba document file tẹ́ bá ti wà lórí koikimedia, so ká sọ pé ẹ lọ sórí koikimedia nisin.com, whether from your mobile phone, from your Android, from your tablet. All you need to do is section kan wà tá à ń pè ní more, tẹ́ bá ti click lé lórí ẹ wá lọ sábẹ́ Yoruba document files. Lábẹ́ ẹ̀rí eléyìí tí mo ṣe download náà tá à ń pè ní federalism versus unitarism, Nigeria must choose one before 2023. Ìyẹn la máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Ìyẹn the full lecture that was delivered by bàbá wa àwọn Ayọ̀ Ọ̀pádọ̀kun under the auspice of the coalition of Yoruba self-determination. Then níbẹ̀ náà mo tún ti fi eléyìí sí the proposed constitution of Orile Ede. Ẹ lọ download àwọn kìíní kẹ́ka propose lọ pé kò ń ṣe constitution tá a fẹ́ lò ó torí pé ẹlòmíì máa ní ṣe constitution tá a máa lò nìyẹn. And when they say something is proposed, àwọn kan lọ́kọ̀ jókòó together tó ń pera wọn ní Yoruba Strategic Alliance àti gbé wọn wá sórí ètò rí. So hopefully I will get in touch with Omojola to come and speak to us about it again at some point. So a máa discuss lórí yẹn. Then mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí yẹn. Then mo máa ń sọ pé a wà nínú ogun bóyá nísìn tí bàbá dáadáa, bàbá lálùbáríkà, bàbá tí a máa rí dáadáa ní gbogbo ìgbà tí a mọ̀ sí bàbá wa Pastor Enoch Adeboye. Kò wá ń ṣe Kóìkì ló ń sọ mọ́ nísìnyí, bọ̀ bàbá wa nínú sermon tó give lẹ́ni níjọ́ first Sunday of the month sọ pé we are in a war situation. Mo ní ogun ni bàbá yìí máa ń sọ pé a wà nínú ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run mà ní jẹ́ arógun. Bàbá wa sọ pé a ti wà nínú ogun báyìí. So bóyá nísìnyí ó máa yí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá. So ìyẹn lélẹ̀, Nigeria is at war. Hey. No one deceive you, Pastor Adeboye. Nígbà tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn tí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà bá fẹ́ listen sí nìyẹn, nígbà tèmi sọ ní 2 years ago pé a wà nínú ogun, wọ́n ní Kóìkì ló fi dọ́gun sílẹ̀. Mo ní Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kémi ríbi tí máa dọ́gun sílẹ̀ torí pé ìjà tèmi ń jà, ìjà tí ó ní evidence. Mo ṣe print kínní because mo máa ń like máa rí nǹkan dìmú. Òun lélẹ̀ evidence ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ pé Declaration on Granting of Independence to the Colonial Peoples, December 14 ní United Nations ni wọ́n bá wa ṣe resolution yìí. So ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Article táwọn bàbá Ọ̀pádọ̀kun náà ó ti wọnú paper already. So headline tó bá jáde ni pé Nigeria must return to true federalism or allow for self-determination. So a ti ń débi ojú kókó that everybody must now understand that the only way forward tí ìran Yorùbá fi lè lálàáfíà nínú ibi tẹ́ ń pè Nàìjíríà òun ni self-determination. Ẹ má worry nígbà gbogbo activities tó ń lọ, campaign lọ lóòótọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń ṣe campaign Peter Obi, gbogbo wọn ariwo ń lọ gbẹ̀gẹ̀. Ẹ má wà distracted. Ẹ jẹ́ káwa dúró síbi tá a wà. Àwa ti mọ ibi tá à ń lọ. Peter Obi kọ́ ló nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, Àtíkù kọ́ ló nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, Tinubu kọ́ ló nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwa ọmọ Yorùbá là ń sọ pé a fẹ́ self-determination. Ẹ má bẹ̀rù Buhari, ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. So a máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí yẹn náà. So these are the areas that we're going to be talking about tonight. So at least you have an idea. So mo wá mọ ibi tí a ti kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀, bí a ká kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí tàwọn ti bàbá wa Ayọ̀ Ọ̀pádọ̀kun. Then also ẹ sọ fún Nigerian military pé intern plan ó ti wà lọ́wọ́ Koikimedia. Ẹ bá mi jíṣẹ́ fún the Nigerian government pé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tó ń plan nínú cabinet wọn ó ti déwájú desk mi báyìí. And they should be ready that if anything happen to our people, ẹ máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ní International Criminal Court o. Kódà bó bá darúgbó tó sá lọ sí any African country, any Asian country, any European country, we will come for each single one of you. Tell them that Koikimedia have got their dossier that I've got in front of my desk as I speak to us right now. All their planning towards the mega rally that is coming in Yorubaland, that there is a law under international law and African Union law that allow us to gather and demand without any problem our right to self self-determination. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá mọ federal government of Nigeria, please tell them that those steps tí wọ́n prepare lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn, gbogbo meeting tí wọ́n ń ṣe is already with me, with the names and everybody involved. Ẹ wá bá mi sọ fún àwọn first class ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, mo kí gbogbo orí adé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pátápátá pé kó má get involved pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Nigerian military lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá mega rally tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ sọ fún àwọn ọba aládé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ gbogbo wọn, tí mo kó gbogbo wọn papọ̀, àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn wọ́n mọra wọn. We are not going to give the names out, but your dossier is already with me. Ìpàdé tẹ̀ ń ṣe pẹ̀lú Nigerian military, ẹ back out. Kí Nigerian military kó má kó ẹ̀rẹ̀ sí yín lára pẹ̀lú àwa tí, torí pé bàbá lẹ jẹ́ fún wa and we respect you, and that's why nígbà tí àwọn èèyàn ti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká fẹ́ àwọn ọba sílẹ̀, pé ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí kò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ ọba, tí bàbá wa dáadáa Professor Banji Akíntóyè tó ti pè wá, tó ti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀, tó ní Kóìkì ẹ má bú àwọn ọba mọ́, ẹ fi àwọn ọba sílẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ a máa bá rìn àjò lọ. Àmọ́ ẹ bá mi sọ fún àwọn ọba aládé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ń ṣèpàdé pẹ̀lú Nigerian military pé kó back out. Ẹ sọ fún wọn pé kó back out. Because tẹ́ ẹ bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá máa gbọ́ gbogbo ìpàdé tẹ́ ṣe. Ẹni tó wà nínú ìpàdé yẹn, time tẹ́ ṣe ìpàdé yẹn, àti evidence picture yín, ó máa jáde to the public domain from koikimedia. So we are giving that warning in advance so that kó má di pé a sọ fún yín, ẹ bá mi deliver message yẹn. Let's now continue. Ó dà pé glasses mi dọ̀tí, so mo ní láti nu ojú ẹ̀. So I'm going to take a short break just for 30 seconds because glasses yẹn wà nínú ilé, mo ní láti lọ mú case, and then we continue our program. Once again, a very good evening and welcome. The time on my clock is now 1 minute past 10 p.m. Mo bí àtó bí mi lọ́mọ, mo kí wọn dáadáa. Ẹ bá mi kí àwọn group yín tí wọ́n donate owó fún wa pé ká tún ṣe flag díẹ̀ sí. A tún máa sanwó flag sí lọ́la lágbára Elédùmarè. Yàtọ̀ sí ìta ti ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀, ó tún di production méjì, tá bá sanwó lọ́la á di production mẹ́ta. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń béèrè flag ní UK, nílẹ̀ ni mo ṣe tí response yín, but gbogbo yín ni mo ti kọ orúkọ sílẹ̀. As soon as the production bá ti dé London, definitely tó ti wà lọ́wọ́ mi, you will start, I'll communicate with you and then we'll start dispatching for those of you that wants to buy. Once again, let's just watch this and I'll come back shortly.
Family wa gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n tó ń bẹ lókè òkun ò lè wálé, ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n kọ́mọ́ jí wọn gbé, gbogbo express ọ̀nà Èkó ń bí káàkiri ọ̀nà Oǹdó Èkìtì káàkiri gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, Fúlàní jí wa gbé wọn pa wá. So ìdí ni ìdájọ́ òfin ọ̀fẹ́ tà káwọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ ká jáde fúnra ká fight ẹ̀tọ́ wa ká béèrè right wa lọ́wọ́ àkókò yìí. So ìdí ni ẹ̀dí mo fi ń ṣe pé ẹni Fúlàní ẹ̀sìn náà ajínigbé ni ó kò lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Igangan báyìí ṣé ẹ lè sọ pé peace ti padà síbẹ̀ báyìí.
Àlàáfíà ti wà ní gẹ́gẹ́ àwọn ará gẹ̀gẹ́ ń confirm ẹ̀pá àlàáfíà ti wà. So kéde ẹ̀sìn bẹ̀ nìkan mo sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ síwájú pé kì í ṣe ìgẹ̀gẹ̀ nìkan ni àjẹkára gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pátápátá lápapọ̀ láti máa béèrè. Ẹ jẹ́ ká dúpẹ́ lọ́lọ́ ká dúpẹ́ lọ gómìnà Ògùn state náà fúnra wọn náà sọ pé àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ wọ́n fi hàn pé àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn tí àwọn ń ṣèjọba lé lórí. Because tí gómìnà bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù tó ń ṣèjọba lé lórí Ògùn state kò ní gbà wọn láyè pé káwá fèsì àwọn Fúlàní ẹ̀sìn mẹ́rin náà. So fúnra ìjọba ló sọ pé ó ti tó gẹ́ fáwọn Fúlàní ẹ̀sìn mẹ́rin torí pé àwọn tóun ń ṣèjọba lé lórí lẹ̀ ń pa. So ìdí ni ìtàfi wá sóògùn state lé ní.
Ṣé tábí pàdé ẹ ti ní gómìnà báyìí?
Mi ò tí ì rí wọn, but èmi ò pé ibi tó ju ìjàmbá wà lẹ́ka kọ́kọ́ lọ. Tàbá lé àwọn Fúlàní tàbá lé tán a máa padà lọ bá ìjọba láti kí wọn.
Àtẹ́wọ́.
À ń lọ sí Yewa lánàá báyìí torí pé a rí pé ibẹ̀ gangan ni àwọn Fúlàní ajínigbé yìí ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe jàmbá fún àwọn ọmọ Ògùn state púpọ̀ jù tó ibẹ̀ gangan là ń lọ sí báyìí.
A gbọ́ pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wọ́n ń gbàgbọ́ ní fún ṣóòtọ́ ni àbí ẹ rí support látọ̀gbọ́n Yorùbá.
Èmi ò tí ì rí Yorùbá kankan tí mo lè sọ fún gbàgbọ́ ni ṣe ti understand because gbogbo Yorùbá ló dìde ìjà tá ń jà gbogbo Yorùbá ni ẹ lè rí pé àti Mùsùlùmí àti Christian gbogbo ẹnìbọn ní ń jà kìí pé jà Ìgbòho nìkan gbogbo wa là ń jà gbogbo Yorùbá ló ń jà kìí sí pé Yorùbá kan ń gbé àbọ̀dẹ̀fẹ́ nìkan kan káàdẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́gbọ̀ àwọn tó wà ní diaspora rí gbogbo ọ̀nà dìde tán so gbogbo àwọn ọba náà ti dìde gbogbo àwọn ọba ti dìde everybody ti dìde kò sí pé bóyá Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò náà dìde ó ń bínú so gbogbo àlà ń bínú papọ̀ kìí sí pé Yorùbá kan ń sẹ́gbàbọ̀dẹ̀ so ìjà tá ń jà ìjà gbogbo Yorùbá ni ọ̀dẹ̀ ti jókòó ẹ̀ náà kò sẹ́ náà.
Yoruba nation now, Yoruba nation now, Yoruba nation now. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire, mo kí gbogbo níbikíbi tẹ́ bá wà. Ká kọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n ń bá wa gbétò káàkiri, tí wọ́n ń darí ẹ̀ lóríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà. Ẹni tá a bá dárúkọ, ẹ má fi ṣèbínú. Àwọn tá a bá dárúkọ náà, à ń kí gbogbo yín náà ní lọ́tùn lósì. Mo kí àwọn gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ lábẹ́ Yorùbá self-determination movement. Láì yọ ẹnìkankan sílẹ̀. I think we have about 100 of us, different organizations, ló form Yoruba self-determination. Àwọn dẹ̀ lọ kọ lẹ́tà tí bàbá wa Akíntóyè jẹ́ chairman wọn sí Buhari. Lẹ́tà yẹn ti expire, ó ti di 48 hours tó ti expire. And that means that we are officially done with the letter. All we are just waiting for is what is the next move. Ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, mo lọ sí Global Directorate, mo kí yín dáadáa. Mo kí Yorùbá One Voice. Mo wá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, mo kí àwọn Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà, mo kí OPC, mo kí àwọn Farmers Hunters, mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá láì yọ ẹnì kankan nínú yín sílẹ̀. Whether we know you or we don't know you, whether you are doing your own, just, within the little that you can do. Ìyẹn tí àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó fẹ́ kíran Yorùbá kó dá dúró. Torí àwọn ẹgbẹ́ kan wà tí wọ́n sì ń support pé kíran Yorùbá kó má dá dúró. And Yoruba freedom now, Oduduwa nation we stand. Yoruba nation are over more than 60 million, even though Nigerian government is telling us that we are just about 30 million. But even with that, we have the right to self-determination. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, mo kí bàbá wa Ìbà Gani Adams, mo kí bàbá wa Professor Banji Akintoye, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olórí wa, mo kí bàbá wa Yílóge, mo kí Yoruba Central Office Dr. Okebiorun-Kosi, mo kí gbogbo organization tó ń gbètò pé kíran Yorùbá kó bọ́ lóko ẹrú, kò gbọ́dọ̀ sú wa, kò gbọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ wá. We can all have different angles. Èmi ti sọ so many times. We will kill Nigeria from different angles with different templates. Àwọn tó bá ṣì ń tẹ̀lé Ninas, ẹ má fi ṣèbínú sí wọn. Àní kí Nàìjíríà ṣáà ti dákẹ́, kí oxygen tó wà lára ẹ̀ ká destroy ẹ̀, ká pa wá sílẹ̀, so that kó má jẹ́ pé bá ṣe ń pa oxygen yẹn, àwọn kan tún lọ jí níbòmíì. Oxygen yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ wá sílẹ̀. And that's why when you look at irú àwọn tí a fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn lórí wọn, effort kan làwọn náà make. It doesn't matter whatever it is. Effort kan ló make. I'm talking about the Nadeco. Tá bá rántí pé Nadeco ló ń jàjà pé kí after tó pa bàbá wa late Chief MK Abiola, Nadeco ló erupt nígbà yẹn, and we saw what they did. But in between that, àwọn kan dẹ̀ fade out. Ó di pé wọ́n di politician, padà sí 1999. Ó yẹ yí olúkálùkù bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jẹ owó wọlé rẹpẹtẹ. Ó wá di pé everybody fẹ́ di senator, everybody fẹ́ di house of rep, everybody wá ń sáré. Àwọn tó wá jẹ́ ẹ̀ka tó wà lábẹ́, àwọn yẹn wá ń jẹ kékèké. Àwọn big boys, àwọn big man tó ń filẹ̀ Yorùbá tí ẹ fi ń kó bá wa. Àwa ń sọ nísìnyí pé àsìkò tó. And that's why we like to appreciate, the Nadeco. And they are still doing their best. Everybody knows that they cannot take us back to true federalism. But it is always good to push that to the government. Ṣàmà padà sí true federalism ni, or you allow the right to self-determination, which is exactly what we are asking for. And if anybody's telling you that what we are doing is a criminal offense, ẹ má dánwò, ẹ sọ fún wọn pé there is a resolution 1514 ní 1960 ní UN gbé resolution yẹn jáde. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ ẹbí mi tó dúró tán. Àwọn wo lẹbí mi? Ẹ̀yin náà ni ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ̀tì wá lẹ́yìn pé máa báṣẹ́ lọ. So let's talk about this a little bit. Mo ti gbé wá sókè because mo rí pé the other scroll yẹn ó ń disturb it. So now let's discuss about what we have here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just go straight. But this is the headline. But I also have this, text, lecture that was delivered. It's about page 1 to 25. But I will try to see as much as what we can read out of it. But to summarize in talk kosibe, òun ni what àwọn paper ti bá yín gbé jáde. Ọ̀pádòkun, Nigeria must return to true federalism or allow for self-determination. Is that not what we have been talking about? Ṣèbí ta ti ń sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ náà nìyẹn. Ìgbésẹ̀ ta ti ń pariwo náà nìyẹn pé ẹ jẹ́ kí self-determination kó wáyé. Nobody is going to give you true federalism. But it is good that some people push that so that at least different angle, different area, and he said we should just allow Nigeria to dissolve. So before not to waste too much of our time, let me just go straight to it. Being the text of a lecture that was delivered by Ayo Okpadokun under the auspice of the Coalition of Yoruba Self-Determination Groups, CYSDG, Mukegbomidada Georgia Akinola, held at the NUJ Press Center, Ibadan, Oyo State, on October 1st, 2022, which was yesterday. Federalism versus Unitarism. Nigeria must choose one before 2023. And it says, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols and courtesy, as they say, are duly observed to satisfy this diverse and eminent audience. I've been money láti fi mouse ilé padà síbẹ̀ so that because computer tó wà níbà tabarẹ tó sì fẹ́ fún wa lówó we buy another alien web. It costs a lot of money, almost 2,000 plus. Yes, a machine but I have about 3 different computers na run ní bíbá. Àwọn kan wà lórí Instagram ẹ ṣe gan ni kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín. Àwọn kan gbọ́ wa lórí Mixlr. We are streaming on more than 7 different areas. Once again, a very good evening. Let me begin by putting on record my gratitude to colleagues and comrades who by divine arrangement decided to invite me to speak to this wonderful gathering of eminent and respectable offsprings of Oduduwa race and family, as well as our close affiniate who are desirous of having quality and very verifiable fact on the state of the nation and where the Yoruba nation stand in the current seemingly confusing social, economic, and political setting. It is in that regard that I have duty to commend the towering effort of my dear brother and colleague and confidant and comrade, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farumbi, the former Nigerian ambassador to the Republic of Philippines and the Kingdom of Cambodia. My distinguished brother has been many other things before, inclusive of being the former chief executive and general manager of the NTA in both Akure and Ibadan, respectively. Muki Bobo different groups, Muki Yoruba Clubhouse for the job you're doing, Muki Think Tank, Think Yoruba First. He is an accomplished artist, producer, director, former chairman of the Oyo State Director of Information. In this particular regard, he was the motivator for the establishment of BCOS under the governorship of Chief Folayemi, may so rest in peace, of blessed memory. Ambassador Farumbi has been and most likely still chairs many public and private boards. I thank also Comrade Sanda and Reverend Adeboye for their unitary effort to gather all of us here today. May their kinds never dwell in Yorubaland. Muki Comrade Victor Taiwo. Where we cherish our Omoluabi ethos and values above everything in spite of all the perversions and total disregard of our custom, tradition, culture, artifact, folklore, morals by successful military rulers and their civilian collaborators. Their successor civilian generations have not feared better Wahhabs so as not to offend their benefactors. The military civilian surrogate, loyalist confederate and accolade collaborated in the devaluation of our traditional heritage, which places the highest value on education, respect for elders, honesty as best policy of life commitment and consistent to ideas. They treated education just as one of the social services rather than according it the pride of place. Japan, South Korea, Singapore have no significant natural resources. Even then, they are first-class nations today. Ẹ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ dáadáa. Japan, South Korea, Singapore, wọn ní nǹkan mìíràn tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, but lẹ́nìí tí o bá ní passport ìlú méjèèjì àbí tó bá jẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń gbé fáwọn tó ń gbé ní Japan, mo kí bàbá mi gbogbo ẹ̀yin tàbá tẹ wà níbẹ̀, àtẹ̀gbọ́n mi, mo kí Sami Japan, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ wà ní South Korea and Singapore. Wọn ní significant natural resources. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe ń gbọ́ tí mo sọ níbí. But lẹ́nìí ìlú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn wọ́n dá dúró gẹ́ngẹ́, wọ́n dá dúró tán-tán. And when you look at the population of some of these countries, just for me to divert a little bit, and let's look at Japan today. Mélòó ni population Japan? Kí ni population wọn? Let's take a look at the population of Japan. 125.8 million. Let's look at Singapore. Okay? Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo Singapore. Singapore. Again, kí ni population wọn? The population of Singapore is just 5.6 million. Okay? Ìlú wo ló tún dárúkọ níbẹ̀? Wọ́n dárúkọ South Korea. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ wo South Korea. Once again, a very good evening. My name is Olayomi Koiki. You're watching me for the first time. I am one of the media that says we must break away from Nigeria peacefully. And if it's not going to be peaceful, we prepare for everything that will take us out of the contraction called Nigeria. When we look at the population of South Korea today, again, population. The population of South Korea is not even close to Yoruba people. 51.78 million. Their GDP is 1.631 trillion US dollars. That is the GDP, the gross domestic product. When we look at Japan, population is 125. China, so let's look at this, the GDP for Singapore. Singapore with 6 million, but yet they have 340 billion US dollars as their gross domestic product. A ní láti lo Japan. Ẹ jẹ́ á fi Japan sílẹ̀ because population Japan ó pọ̀, but when we look at Japan, in tí Japan ní àwa ní jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, ìtọ́ntà láti sọ nìyẹn. Now, àti mọ data yẹn, I want us to quickly look at the data from here again. Mo fẹ́ lọ wo Singapore again, and I want to look something from the Singapore. Mo fẹ́ lọ wo bí tí passport index wọn wà. Ní when we look at the passport index, it shows that the economy of a country will determine how valuable your passport is. Ibi tí ọmọ Yorùbá láti wà lẹ́nìí ni. When you look at their passport index, according to what I have here, if I'm right, I believe they are on number 7. And this is what their passport looks like. Their population, again, if I remind you, their population is just under 6 million. 6 million ní population Singapore tí àwọn bàbá wa Ayọ̀ Pàdókun tó ń refer sí. Wọ́n ní resources kankan bí àwa ṣe ní. Kódà wọ́n import gbogbo tó ń lò wá síbẹ̀ ni. Because these are islands. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo South Korea. Níbo ni passport in the South Korea náà wà? And this is why we are telling those of you that are still believing that you have a country called Nigeria, you do not understand the magnitude of what you're talking about. When we look at the passport index of South Korea today in the world, let's go and look at it. South Korea, okay, I've got to get it from the other side because, ranking, I should put ranking and that will help me quickly. Number 2 ni South Korea wà. Bí ṣe ṣe ti Singapore and I think I'm wrong. So ranking like if you see níbí báyìí. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ máa take note of these. Okay? According to Singaporean passport is currently number 4 in the world. Number 4, ìdí tí gbogbo wa ṣe ń sá lọ pé a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní ilẹ̀ aṣálẹ̀. It's just that a ti wà nínú Nàìjíríà tó ń affect the mentality wa, tó ń affect the spiritual being wa. Kò ń ṣe pé Ọlọ́run ò gbàdúrà wa, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ń gbàdúrà jù, àmọ́ a wà nínú ìdọ̀tí tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. And until tá bá kúrò nínú ẹ̀, la máa tó ní àdúrà yẹn máa gbà. Kò ń ṣe pé Ọlọ́run ò mọ tó ń ṣe, àwa ni ká jẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run mọ̀ pé àwa ọmọ ẹ̀dá dámọ̀ tó dá sílẹ̀ Yorùbá, a ti ṣetán láti gbára wa kúrò kódà tó bá máa wà painful ẹ jẹ́ ká rọ́jú kó jẹ́ kí pain yẹn ká jẹ́ kí pain yẹn kó kàn wá lára ká lè fi jáde. If not, the longer we stay in Nigeria, the more problem we will continue to face. Mo sọ fún yín pé pásítọ̀tì àwọn Singapore òun ni number 4 ní àgbáyé, ti South Korea òun ni number 2, and South Korea according to what we have is not up to 60 million in population. Ta ló wá ń sọ pé ìran Yorùbá ò lè dá dúró? Mo rí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ, thank you so much once again. Ẹ bá mi kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n fún wa ní owó látọ̀dọ̀ yín fún flag tí a máa sanwó ẹ̀ lọ́la. Thank you so much and we love you and we appreciate you. Let's go back quickly into this. So now, mo ti fún yín ní breakdown nǹkan méjì tẹ́lẹ̀ láti mọ̀. A ti mọ̀ pé Japan is about 125 million, but their passport, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo ibi tí passport Japan wà. Wọ́n ò ní resources, but they are doing very well in the global world. Passport ranking for Japan. Japan passport is number 3, the strongest in the world. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí mo sọ, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ ń bẹ nílé tí ẹ sọ pé ẹ tí ready, ǹjẹ́ wọ́n mọ̀ pé tó bá ní passport Japan òun ni number 3, the strongest in the world. Additionally, Anthony Capital Passport Index ranked Japanese passport as the 3rd strongest passport in the world. Ó beat other countries. I think ó beat America gan. America tí a máa ń pọ́nlé gan sẹ́. United States passport ranking. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ with America ranking. America passport ranking is number 8 in the world. So ẹni tó ọmọ tí ó ní ọmọ tó bá ní passport Japan ó ní value ju America lọ. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ kí pain tí a fẹ́ fi lọ yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká gba pain yẹn mọ́ra kí a lè láǹfààní káwa náà lè compete within the global community within the next 10 years. By 10 years I will be in my 50s. Ìwọ náà add the 10 years mọ́ age a sì lè push pé kí gbogbo wa push together nísìnyí ẹ jẹ́ kí pain yẹn kó wọnú ara wa nísìnyí ká kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà so that in the next 10 years of your age o ní lè commit suicide. I cannot show the video, I mean the image, but ẹ bá lọ sórí koikimedia lórí blog mi a ti fi picture ọmọ Yorùbá tó parẹ́ ní Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ lánàá. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Ẹ̀yin ọba wa, ẹ̀yin politician, ìran Yorùbá máa dúró lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ lọ wo ẹni tó commit suicide, ẹ má ní ká share because it's not going to happen, but tàbí lọ sórí koikimedia blog ó wà níbẹ̀, and I think I tweeted it as well. If you go on my Twitter, probably you have to scroll back, you will see it there. Ẹ rí odindi ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń parẹ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, ilẹ̀ tó ní ọ̀rá tó ní gbogbo nǹkan, báwo nìyẹn ṣe lè ǹjẹ́ yìí gbọ́ pé ọmọ Japan commit suicide àfi tó bá ń go through mental problem, which is normal. Passport America gan kò ní value tó passport Japan, kò ní value tó passport South Korea, kò ní value tó passport Singapore. So ìlú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tí mò ń dárúkọ yìí passport wọn ní value ju ti America lọ. I don't want to waste too much time on that because I want to continue with the conversation. Once again, my name is OLAMILEKAN. Mo kí àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n ṣe lecture ní àná, Ayọ̀ Ọ̀pádòkun, for bringing us to what Japan, South Korea, and Singapore looks like. Once again, let's continue. They are first-class nations today because they gave education the highest priority, and their educated citizens are justifying their nation's investment in education. Premier Obafemi Awolowo of Western Region was ready to devote 40% of his regional budget to education. In fact, in his farewell account to his stewardship in 1959, it was found that about 60% of his budget was spent on education. This formed the foundation that gave the Yoruba nation its well-deserved educational accomplishment, which unfortunately are today being regularly undermined, questionable funded, so much so that teachers are contemptuously sidelined. Recent results from WAEC and NECO should make us trouble as to the performance of Yoruba state that Ito occupied and dominated the top 3 positions and the first top 10 ranking. In the last outing, the first Yoruba state was number 22 among 36 states. there is no justification or any rationalization for this sorry state we now occupy. Since the uncultured military jackboots use their swaggered stick to remove caps of elderly Yoruba civil servants in Oyo and Kwara State, disrespect to elders and humiliation of our traditional ethos have been so bashed that the young now relish in the rule of the might is right. They wallow in foreign culture, lifestyle that accords scarce regard to honor, humility, integrity, and omoluabi home training. We must start the process of reorientation, re-education, re-information in all Yoruba homes for a turnaround for a good of our family and Yoruba general. At this stage of my address, I beg you to join me to recognize and celebrate all our distinguished, revered, and outstanding forebearers who left their footprint in the sand of time. I cannot list them all by the name, but I just want to use Chief Jeremiah Obafemi Awolowo, GCFR, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the first Yoruba man to be collectively elected as the leader of the Yoruba nation in 1966, but who as the first premier of the Western Nigeria. While I'm reading that, I just want to change the background and give our father the accolade. So let me bring his image up quickly behind me. Once again, my name is OLAMILEKAN, and very good morning, good evening to those of you that have joined us. Normally, to buy a big studio, ni baby ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, èèyàn kan ló máa change kìíní ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn. But since I'm just on my own, this is what we have to happen. Let's continue. At this stage, I cannot list them all, but I just want to use Chief Jeremiah Obafemi Awolowo, GCFR, SAN, the first Yoruba man to be collectively elected as the leader of the Yoruba nation in 1966. But who as the first premier of the Western Nigeria, along with his distinguished colleagues, run the most responsive, transparent, productive, creative government that became the pacesetter of all public services in the First Republic. I am, with your kind permission, using him as a reference to pay these heroes our debt of gratitude and appreciation for all their invaluable, credible, heuristic, respected performances that have given the Yoruba nation an imperishable head start. Those of them who, as governors in the Second Republic, namely Chief M.A. Ajasin, CON of Ondo State, Alhaji L.K. Jakande for Lagos State, Chief B.C. Onabanjo for Ogun State, Chief Bola Ige, SAN for Oyo State, and Professor Ambrose Ali for Bendel State, equally provided a matchless public services that positively impacted on our lives in the old Western region, and that positively impacted on our people's life in the old Western region and Bendel State. They have clearly written their names in gold. We cannot forget easily to those who were not in government but were outstanding opinion leaders of our people. They operated in education, Medicare, businesses, judiciary, media, professionals, and much more relevant for these gathering, and political human rights activists who even paid their supreme sacrifice for the little space they succeed in creating for our current effort to navigate our today's essential crossroad. I beg you to rise with me to give all these heroes a standing ovation that I'm going to be doing as well, because we must give them a standing ovation. Because when we talk about our late father, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, we could have been much better. Probably maybe a Yoruba nation passport would have been in the first position of the global community. But we have a lot of the Yorubas now in the government that are taking us backwards and telling us to go for 2023 election, knowing fully well that the Yoruba land will never develop in what we call Nigeria today if we do not have our own self-determination. Again, please grant me the indulgence to request you to sing this impactful, educative, and instructively mobilizing theme song with me. The words were crafted and composed by the stage and genius Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the unforgettable doyen of Nigerian theatre, art, and music, Chief Obert Ogunde, who together the lyrics and music to make the song evergreen. In English, "'Tis a duty that we hold to our great dear motherland." And you can take it out from Koikimedia on the Yoruba document. "To enhance her and to boost her in the eyes of all the world. Egalitarianism is our national watchword. Equality of good fortune must be to each sure reward. Liberty and brotherhood are the goals for which we strive, plus progress, plus plenty, and all the good things of life. Up, up, Nigeria, and take thy rightful place. Teach thy birthright, thy destiny, Africa's leading light to be." In Yoruba, I won't probably read that because it might call my sorry, so I'm just going to leave the Yoruba part of it. Let us examine briefly the state of the nation. In contestable fact and reality, Nigeria was creation of an imperialist colonial overlord, the United Kingdom, which created the geographical space called Nigeria for its own political and economic interests. Number two, the colonial master forced several ethnic nationalities elsewhere living on their geographical space independently for several thousands of years before the British used their superior gunpowder to subdue and to force the ethnic nationality to cohabit in the place of the colonial master, eventually called Nigeria. So Nigeria remains a forced union on several different people. I was watching a documentary on YouTube, and let me just quickly share that with you, and let me go to my history. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to Koikimedia live transmission. I was watching these, how Britain ruled the world. I was actually watching that today. And if you have the time, you can go there and watch it as well. I'll try and share it. Very, very powerful. How did British Empire rule the world? Not a lot, because I do not own the copyright to this video. And this is what they've done to us. While this is being played, I will share that behind the scene for the benefit of those of you that might want to watch it as well.
The British Empire may not have technically ruled the world, but it was, in fact, the largest empire to exist at any point throughout history. Reaching across the globe and carrying on over multiple centuries, the British Empire owes its success and ability to expand so widely. The geographical position of Great Britain served as a major advantage to the growing empire. Given that the nation was an island, the likelihood of being invaded or conquered was somewhat lower than a country that was surrounded on all sides by foreign powers. Although Britain was not completely immune to incursions, it definitely benefited geographically, both in terms of external threats and when it came to any border disputes. Britain had a pretty clear and straightforward border between itself and any other nations. While Scotland and England split the landmass that was bilaterally united with the ascension of Scotland's King James VI to the throne of England in 1603, both states would together make up the nation of Great Britain by 1707, sharing their outward borders with nothing but the North Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea. This open position, with easy access for maritime expeditions, also gave Great Britain an upper hand when it came to reaching other countries and continents. Needing only to cross over foreign land when they wished to reach countries more inward on their continent, the Brits were able to sail to just about any coastal nation without much resistance. Still, oceanic adventures would not have been so effortless for the British Empire without a strong naval fleet. This is where the size and power of the Royal Navy became a center point of British success. While Great Britain did not always control the world's oceans, the reason they began to skyrocket as an unignorable maritime power by the 18th century is largely due to the fact that they invested more money in ships and guns than other naval forces. The government and citizens of the British Empire truly believed that the future of their wealth was to be found through the ocean. Recognizing the importance of overseas trade, as well as a fleet that could also defend their land if ever required.
The reason why they were able to do all they did was because of the fact that British government they were doing more navy gunboats, ships to fight. Anything, they invested in their navy and they used that to destroy the continent. They used that to mobilize. Nigerian passport is the number 84 for the person that is asking. Passport Nigeria number 84 compared to countries like Singapore that is not up to 6 million and their passport. So I don't want to play too much of this video. You've got the idea of what our father was saying here. Ìyẹn bàbá wa Ọ̀pádòkun. Ìbọn ni wọ́n lò lọ́ fi kó wa lómi ọbẹ̀, lọ́ fi destroy wa, lọ́ fi lè kó wa lẹ́rú for years. And ẹrú yẹn nísìn òun náà la ṣe ń ṣe títí wákàtí. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, my name is Olamileka and welcome to those of you that have joined us on the platform. I say good evening. But to post the video here, you can go and watch the remaining for your own consumption. I'll go back again. The colonial master forced several ethnic nationalities elsewhere living on their geographical space. And let me put, those of you that say you are one Nigeria and you are fighting for Nigeria, let me put your grandfather there that died and is still there. That's him there. God. The colonial master forced several ethnic nationalities elsewhere living on their geographical space independently. Àti ń dágbé, àti ń ṣèjọba ara wa, kò ń ṣe pé kò síbi kan tó ń pè nílẹ̀ wa tẹ́lẹ̀. We were known for a kingdom, Ijebu kingdom, Kinikan kingdom. But it was when they came in, they met us well. And there's a lot of people that have talked about that. And one person that we talked about that recently, that we've showed you the video, just to buttress what I'm discussing tonight again, let's hear what this man has to say.
Let's think about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this would help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought forth, not to bore you, first, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Ahmadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country. This is thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria.
So you heard him there. That is, the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. So let's go back. I'm just putting that to buttress what our father Ayo Padokun is saying, and I go back again to that number 2. The colonial masters forced several ethnic nationalities elsewhere living on their geographical space independently for several thousands of years before the British used their superior gun power, just as I show you that evidence here again.
The Brits made sure to adequately fund the Royal Navy.
They were funding the Royal Navy for one purpose and one purpose only, to go around the world and do as many damage, take the language, kill the people there, take their resources, and if they don't want anything, change their identity by forcing a different person on them. So the reason why you are known as Nigeria is because the British Colonial during that time forced Nigeria on every single one of us. And that now is why we are saying a self-determination is the only way out of Nigeria. The British used their superior gun power to subdue and to force ethnic nationalities to cohabit in a place the colonial master eventually called Nigeria. So Nigeria remains a forced union of several different peoples. Number 3, in recognition of the fact that Nigeria is occupied by over 350 autogenous nationalities, the colonial masters and the nationalists and the ethnic nationalities leader negotiated the suitable constitution called the Federal Constitution to enable the multiplicity of languages, traditions, cultures, customs, artifacts, forelogs, morals to thrive uninhabited by the imposed British administrative structure. Ìyẹn tẹ́ rò pé nígbà tí wọ́n tẹ̀ ti ṣe jàǹbá tán tó tún wá fún wa ní federal system of government, they didn't allow that to work. The independent constitution upon which Nigeria secured independence allocated spheres of influence to the regional and central government, which made the component unit independent and equal. While they were coordinating at the center on equal basis, the central government was not the boss of the component. The Federal Constitution in practice enabled all government to compete healthy as they provided services to the citizens. Irú ẹni tó parẹ́ lẹ́ni ní ànílànà ní Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ would not have been able to do so if we have a system that respects and values human lives. Let's continue. Using the natural and human resources in their regions to improve the standard of the living of their people, it is undeniable fact that the secular achievement recorded under the federal constitutional governance remained unmatched and surpassed milestone of Nigerians' identity till date. For example, the Western region under Chief Obafemi Awolowo recorded spectacular feat summarized in this 1959 valedictory address. The politicians in military uniform staged a violent insurrection against the elected government of Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa government on January 15, 1966. The military junta was suspended and abrogated the negotiated federal constitution, which was the only legitimate body of laws subscribed to by the heterogeneous peoples as the grand norm. In other words, the core that bound the different peoples, specifying the modus of operandum, rules of engagement for their cohabitation, was suspended and abrogated, while the military decree of many kinds were imposed on Nigeria. Nigerians never accepted the unitarist and centralist decrees which the military had imposed on the country since 1966. The 1979 Constitution and the 1999 Constitutions were all military decrees imposed as constitutions. They were choreographed to entrench the narrow sectional interests of the military rulers and their civilian collaborators, confederated acolytes, loyalists, and also sympathizer. When we look at the 1999 Constitution, one of the most fraudulent constitutions in the world, a constitution that should not be allowed to exist anymore. The constitution that we should make sure that anybody still talking about one Nigeria today should keep their mouth shut, because that constitution is the fraud that has kept us together without us accepting it. But a lot of Nigerians are saying we should keep quiet, that they will use that same constitution for the 2003 election, 2023 election that is coming, as we know. But one thing is, everybody knows that Nigeria is a crime scene, especially using that fraudulent 1999 constitution, as we can say. And I'm just going to prove that to you again, because we have Robert Clark that spoke against that constitution in this.
Well, thank you.
Let's listen to him.
I did ask him. He says, look, that Nigerians may have a wrong impression, but they mean well for this country. But looking at some of the provisions, I know you've gone through this. You think they really mean well for good governance from what you've seen?
Let us be honest with ourselves. We lawyers say you cannot build something on nothing. The Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, is a constitution that I believe we should jettison completely, because it does not augur well. After 17 years, it has created more problems for us in Nigeria. It has given more powers to the executive governors and the president, that in exercising these powers, they have allowed corruption to come in. Let me give you an instance. The question of security votes with governors has no basis in the Constitution. They are illegally accepting security votes without constitutional provisions. Security votes was brought in by the military governors, because being a military governor, he needed security votes to start looking at people who are going to topple their government by way of a coup. So they allowed them that money so that they could be paying spies to report any coup attempts. Now, the civilians inherited it without a constitutional provision. When Imo State was doing its 5 years something on your channels, the commissioner said Okorocha released 4 billion of his security vote to enable them to use it in building schools. Let us even agree that 4 billion is the minimum. When you multiply 4 billion by 36 every year for the past 17 years, you see what money has been going into the pockets of these governors, and they don't account to anybody.
They don't account to anybody because they don't have to, because we are living in a fake country called Nigeria. So that is what is said on that number 8. I'm going to take it back a little bit. Nigerians never accepted the unitarist and the centralist decrees which the military had imposed on the country since 1966. The 1979 Constitution and the 1999 Constitution were military decrees imposed as constitution. They were choreography to entrench the narrow and sectional interests of the military rulers and their civilian collaborators, confederate, accolade, loyalists, and sympathizer. So if anybody saying, let's keep one Nigeria, it's because those of them are also enjoying why the military is protecting them. The unitary and the centralist decree had resulted in unjust, inequitable, unfair, near total disregard and contempt for the protection, defense, and promotion of the rule of law in government policies. The consequence of these negative policies has equally led to political instability, national disunity, mutual mistrust. It continued to constitute a great factor in limiting the potential growth, development of the country since the advent of the military. Ìdí tí development ò ṣe dé àdúgbò ẹ, ìdí tí a ṣe ń jẹ yín, ìdí tí a ṣe ń ṣe so many charities, gbà ní gbígbà lọ́hùn-ún, donate owó sí bíbá ẹ, fún wọn nírẹsì níbẹ̀ yẹn, ìyá yìí ẹ wò ó, ẹ̀yin diaspora, ìyá yìí ó ń sunkún, ẹ̀yin diaspora náà wá sáré kówó jáde, ẹ kó fún wọn, ẹ má kí ìyá yẹn sunkún o, àìmọye ìyá tó ń sunkún nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn ebi ń pa wọ́n níbẹ̀ yẹn dáwó sí ọwọ́ mi o ẹ jẹ́ n support wọn níbẹ̀ yẹn ẹ jẹ́ a donate ìrẹsì ẹ jẹ́. These are the job of the government in this country. Tí ebi bá ń pa mí báyìí nísìn, all I have to do, I go to the government website known as www.gov.uk. It says to me, welcome, káàbọ̀ Ọláyọmí Kóìkì, kí ló fẹ́ ká ṣe fún ẹ lẹ́nìí? Mo ní ìjọba UK ebi ń pa mí ni, mo ò ní láti ṣe máa wá charity organization kankan, mo ò ní láti ṣe pé uncle mi ní abroad, mo ò ní láti pe ìyá mi kankan. All I have to do, this is the simpler, clearer and faster, the best place to find government services and information. Kí ni mo fẹ́ mú níbẹ̀? Òun ni pé nígbà tí bá wá wo bíbáyìí, èwo gangan ló ń ṣe mí? Ṣé mo lè ṣiṣẹ́? Nígbà tára mi dẹ̀ lé kókókókó bí ọ̀tá, Ọlọ́run ìfà rẹ̀ ṣe wá, màá sọ pé òkè mo fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ni. Bọ̀ kí tó ṣiṣẹ́, ṣé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lè máa fún mi lówó díẹ̀díẹ̀? Wá àti bá ń wá iṣẹ́. Ṣé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lè máa support mi? Mò ń wáṣẹ́ lóòótọ́ ọ̀bọ̀ ṣé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lè support mi? All I have to do, I go on the benefit. Oríṣiríṣi benefit ló wá wà. Ara ń tàn sọ fún yín pé ó ń bọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn. O ò nídìí láti ṣẹ̀ máa lọ kunlẹ̀kùn olówó kankan. O ò nídìí láti ṣẹ̀ máa wáyàn kankan. O ò nídìí láti ṣẹ̀ máa gbégbá bárà. Because we have so many genuine and ingenuine NGOs. Àwọn kan ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ UK government. Lára wọn lẹ máa rí tó lọ ṣe campaign ní Trafalgar Square. Wọ́n mọ kíní yẹn, mo mọ̀ wọ́n dáadáa ni mo mọ àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n mọ̀ ìgbà tó máa submit application wọn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ń ṣe tipẹ́. So all they do is wọ́n kàn máa amend díẹ̀díẹ̀. Wọ́n ń ṣe lóòótọ́ bọ̀ níbi tó ti ṣe náà láti máa jẹ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Irú yẹn kọ́ là ń fẹ́ mọ́. Fẹ́ donation ẹ máa lọ fún àwọn ìyá wa ní high blood pressure machine. Ẹ máa fún wọn ní kinní kan. We want a nation that will benefit our people like Singaporean. Ẹni tó bá jọmọ Singapore lénìí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ mi, passport wọn ni number 4 ní àgbáyé. Wọ́n ń káàkiri bí ẹṣọ oníwòlímọ̀ báwa ṣe ń káàkiri. Ọmọ tó bá jọmọ South Korea, gbogbo population wọn is 51.78 million. Wọn kì í lọ káàkiri báwa ṣe ń lọ káàkiri because passport wọn is number 2 in the world. But àwa nísìn aláwọn ìyá aláwọn kú tó ń ṣe NGO, ẹ fún wọn lóróró níbẹ̀ yẹn, ṣé lé ni kò ní ẹgbàálé níbẹ̀ yẹn. Ebi ń pa ó ti fẹ́ kú, ó dáa èmi náà send $20, $50, $40 wá kójọ tó bá fún wọn $100 àwọn náà ya mú 80 níbẹ̀ wá fún 20 wá tún ya picture. Ìtàn sọ ni pé tí ìran Yorùbá bá dá dúró, a ní resources tá a máa fi tọ́jú ara wa. Àwa la máa lọ ràn àwọn èèyàn lọ́wọ́ níta, àwọn tí wọ́n bí ń pa àmà lọ ṣèyẹn níta. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki. Koikimedia, you're watching a live transmission. So I'm not going to read everything. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to push because I'm looking at my time and I have about 10 more minutes because I want to go to the next conversation. And then I want to have ample time to open my phone line so that you can call in as well later. Once again, you are running away to have a nation, but your country is not supporting you in terms of your needs. If I need anything, I go to the British government website and all I have to do, I ask what I want. What do you want? Do you want to manage an existing benefit payment? Or do I want to apply for benefit? Benefit and financial support if you are caring for somebody. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní disabled. Benefit and financial support if you are disabled. Kò ń ṣàìsàn. Benefit support for financial support for families. Kébí má bàa family mi àtàwọn ọmọ Òdùwà. Benefit and financial support if you are on a low income. Tówó tó bá ń wọlé fún ẹ ò bá tó, o lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti lọ sí ìjọba UK kan fún ẹ díẹ̀ sí. Benefit and financial support even tíyàn kan bá kú, o gbọ́dọ̀ gba ẹ̀tọ́. Ìyàn kan náà ò fẹ́ rí ẹni tó wà lẹ́yìn mi yẹn, ó dáa ẹja remove ẹ̀ kúrò. Ẹni tó dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ nìyẹn. Lugard, bàbá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn bàbá àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà, àwọn tó sọ pé wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Imagine àwọn èèyàn kúrò nínú ilé wọn, wọ́n lọ campaign fún Nàìjíríà ní Trafalgar Square níwájú embassy. Má ṣe o. Unbelievable. Ẹ ń pariwo Peter Obi láti London. Wọ́n pariwo Peter Obi láti London. Bónílé ló lóko ni, Bítà Mẹ̀dù ló ṣe kinní kan lẹ́yìn Yorùbá sọ. Àpàdé níwájú. Ó kù díẹ̀. Since nobody wants to look at this evil face, ẹ já lọ fi fèsì bàbá wa sí àti Ìgbòho Òòṣà. At least that will keep you a little bit. So these are all the benefits that you can get, including eligible appeal, tax credit, universal credit. In terms of fẹ́yìn ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, kò need own alẹ́ nísìnyí tó bá fẹ́ apply for benefit here, I can do so without any problem. But since I don't need that, I'll come back to here. Number 10. While it can be argued that the military recorded some significant achievement during their tenure, it is necessary to stipulate their record within the available resources while they rule. Abacha stole 5 billion láti gbà lọ́wọ́ Abacha láti 24 years ó ti kú. Do you know what 5 billion is? Abacha family returned back 1.2 billion. Èló gan ló kù lọ́wọ́ wọn. Wọ́n bá wọ gold, wọ́n wọ private jet, wọ́n ń jayé ara wọn lọ, wọ́n gbádùn. Ìwọ jókòó nísìn, ìwọ commit suicide l'Ógbómọ̀ṣọ́. It's because government ò débẹ̀ ni. Thank you so much to each and every one of you that have joined us. My name is OLAMILEKAN. I can read all the comments, but I'll just leave that for now so that we can run 5 minutes that is left of this section before we move to the next section. What is the next section? Tá máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. I think we should go to Baba Adeboye, Pastor Enoch Adeboye. We are in war situation. A ti wà lójú ogun báyìí. Èmi kọ́ mo sọ nísìnyí o. Bàbá wa Adeboye ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. À ń padà bọ̀ lórí yẹn. A máa dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí proposed constitution that we open the phone line for the benefit of all our listeners. Happy first Sunday to every one of us. Ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ dá dúró láì ní tàní, láì ní ṣùgbọ́n. While it can be argued that the military recorded some significant achievement during their tenure, it is necessary to situate their records within the available resources while their rule lasted. Petroleum became the highest foreign exchange. Rather, wọ́n kó jẹ Babangida lọ kọ́lé sórí Hilltop. Jayé nínú ẹ̀rí wíjà tó wà lórí ibẹ̀ ló máa kú sí té. Ó máa wà láyé tá a máa fi gba Yorùbá nation. Ó máa padà kú náà ní torí òun ló padé légi wá. Nigeria during their tenure, most of the earnings were wasted on inflatable contract and white elephant project. Kò sí títì, kò sí iná, kò sómi, kò sí anything. Nothing is actually working. It is therefore important to ask this question. What if the military had not intervened in political governance? What could possibly have been the stage of development of the country now? Question mark. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ìjọba military ò gba power, níbo la bá wà lénìí? Ẹ máa sọ yẹn sínú ọkàn yín. What if and when the military staged its insurrection against the elected government, the exercise did not reveal a possible sectional agenda? Question mark. What if the General Johnson Aguiyi Ironsi forthrightly and deedfully applied the military rule against the coup planners rather than postponing their trial? What if there was no revenge coup and the avoidable 3-year civil war? I leave you to provide the answer. Nigerian GDP and Human Development Index, infant mortality rate. We talked about that some time ago. Infant mortality. I think we discussed that before on this program. I'm not going to bore us with different countries, so I'm just going to stick to Nigeria. According to what we have, the current infant mortality rate for Nigeria in 2022 is 56.220 deaths per 1,000 live births, a 2.57% decline from 2021. I'll give you another statistics quickly. Nigeria remains, as we always say, the poverty capital of the world. Nigeria remains a country where to eat 3 square meals is not going to be possible, and you will beg and beg and beg, and sometimes you probably get somebody give you 5,000. So when you look at Nigeria today with the world poverty clock, just as Babawa Okwadoko was saying there, Nigeria is not progressing. It's actually going backwards. 69 million, roughly about 70 million of Nigerians today will continue to be living in abject poverty. $2 and the exchange rate this morning is about 750 or thereabout for $1. So any 1,000, well, average Nigerian do not have 2,000 naira. But sort of buy. Some of you are struggling, and we can really appreciate those of you that are buying data to watch us from Nigeria. Let's go into that again here. However, Nigeria has refused to confront honestly the major causes of all the national inadequacy traceable to the war-path, skewed and lopsided national structure. The independent and federal constitution under which Nigeria prospered was considered the giant of Africa is the antidote. Giant of Africa is the ant of Africa. Our stunt growth and political instability. To that independent and federal constitution, we must return for a reversal of our misfortune. It is of universal application that human beings globally behave similarly and react in like manner. So I'm not going to bore us with that anymore. So what we're now just going to look at is the article that came out of that as well, which is this one. Okpadokun, Nigeria must return to true federalism or allow for self-determination. That is the only way forward. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá ṣe ń campaign fún election kan, ìyàlẹ́ máa jẹ kú. So I'm just going to read this one and we close the chapter on this one. So, because this one is just a summary. Elder statesman and former secretary of the National Democratic Coalition, Nadeco, Chief Ayo Okpadokun, yesterday called for return to true federalism as envisaged by the founding fathers of Nigeria. Speaking at a lecture delivered under the auspices of the coalition of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group at the Press Center of Nigerian Union of Journalists in Ibadan, Oyo State, Chief Okpadokun argued that no part of Nigeria should be forced to remain against their will. And this is why we are saying we have the right to declare. If we fail to declare Yoruba nation before the end of this year, well, I don't know what will be the outcome of 2023. I repeat that again without mixing my word. If we fail to declare the Yoruba nation before the end of this year, I would not know what will be the outcome when we get to January 1st, 2023. We have the right to declare. Declare. I have given you a lot of examples. East Timor declared their independence in 1975. We have all the right in the world, and without mixing my word, we have all the right to declare Yoruba nation out of Nigeria. The letter that our father, Professor Banji Akintoye, wrote to the government has now expired. And everybody have the right to say self-determination is what we want. So I don't want to go into too much details of that. You can read that article yourself if you want to. So now let me close that and then let's move to what Baba Adeboye said in one of his first broadcasts today. Let's go into it. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, says, the current situation of the country is tantamount to be in a war. If you might break it down. Let's go and look at the meaning of tantamount. Once again, a very good evening. So, tabak pe nkan ni tantamount. Kí ni meaning ẹ̀? Because àwọn òyìnbó ńláńlá gbẹ̀gbẹ̀gbẹ̀ yìí, nǹkan kan máa hide lábẹ́. So, let's go and look. Kò fún mi ní pronunciation ni. Mo fẹ́ mọ pronunciation ẹ̀ náà ni. Okay, well, since I'm not getting the sound for that as well, I would have loved to. But okay, who are there?
Tantamount.
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 Bí nǹkan tó ń tàyàn lára, bí kọ̀ìnkọ̀ìn tó bá tẹ́ lára báyìí. Tí kọ̀ìnkọ̀ìn bá tẹ́ lára níbi tó bá ń sùn. Ẹ rántí pé Shina Peter fi kọrin. Ìjà lọ bá wọ ṣòkòtò wàá bọ́ ní o. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ìjà lọ ti wọnú ṣòkòtò wa báyìí. A gbọ́dọ̀ bọ́ délẹ̀. A gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí pain yẹn ká inflate pain yẹn kí a lè láǹfààní àti gbádùn for the next 10 years. Bí ẹ bá kọ̀ tí ẹ bá lọ declare Yorùbá nation lọ́dún yìí, I don't know what will be in 2023. That's all I will say as koikimedia. Once again, thank you so much to my beautiful mother. I recognize every one of you on the platform. From Mama Liz Dada, thank you so much. We love you. Yami Gbemileke Oduwatide. Mokimbe. Joyce, thank you so much. Maze Gold. Let me appreciate all of you as well on this side. Oluwatoyin Yaya, thank you so much, my brother. We love you. Kazeem Adekunle, Adebayo Sunday. Oluwafemi Rufus. Timba mention Oruko Igbo on Muri. I'm just mentioning it at random. Ayodeji on Instagram. 388 on Instagram. Richard_4731 on Instagram. Bintu_T on Instagram. Yusuf Afolabi on Instagram. Oluwaseun Okusoya. Ojuko Oluwaseun Funke Muki Buku Towoto Mufindaruko Bugoyin. We have people on the MixLR. Let me appreciate them as well. If you're watching me on Twitter, I say thank you so much. Eyileni platform. We've done 1 hour 29 minutes. I'm not going to waste too much of our time. Olumide 005, thank you so much. Pims, thank you so much. Just Reason, thank you so much. Ṣakiru Ògúndípẹ̀, mo kí gbogbo wòlíì, mo kí àfà, mo kí babaláwo, mo kí láti Dubai, mo kí ní gbogbo àgbáyé tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ koikimedia. Èmi á máa sọ pé 3 years ago precisely nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni mo ń pariwo pé ogun ń bọ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ogun ò ní wá. Múná ti wà nínú ogun, wọn ní kí n dákẹ́, àmọ́ bàbá wa ti back mi nísìn, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn. Wọ́n pè òyìnbó kan ní kí ló pé?
Tantamount.
Kí ló mean? Equivalent in a seriousness to virtually the same. How do you use the word tantamount? His statement was tantamount to an admission of guilt. And that's exactly what has been written here. We are in a war situation. A wà nínú ogun lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Èmi kọ́ mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ìyá mi Fúnkẹ́ Òjúkò Olúwaṣeun. Elijah Adeyemi, thank you so much. Ẹ má kí n fi gbogbo yẹn ká tó fi waste too much of our time. Ṣé rí àwọn tó wò wá nílé? Èmi ní mo lè jókòó síbẹ̀ títí dàárọ̀ ọ̀la. Àwọn tó wà nílé wọ́n ní data tí ó ń bọ̀n. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, says the current situation of Nigeria is tantamount to being in war. Àti wà nínú ogun. Pastor Enoch Adeboye made his disclosure on Sunday during his monthly Thanksgiving services, which was commemorated Nigeria's 62nd independence and is monitored by correspondents. The clergyman was delivering a sermon titled Perfect Peace in the Land. Kò lè sí peace. If we remain in Nigeria, kò lè ever sí peace. Tó bá wù ìkẹ́ máa gbàdúrà Nigeria, ìrọ̀lẹ́pa kò lè sí peace. Because Adeboye said peace is the absence of war, the absence of storm, adding that the perfect peace referred to one which is permanent. According to him, time have gone by when traditional rulers were defied and accorded respect, that currently they were arbitrarily kidnapped. Wọ́n náà kidnap ọba kan lánàá, kọ́lọ̀ jẹ́ kó rí wọn. Ọba Ifọ̀n, ẹ̀rántí ọba Ifọ̀n. Ọba Ifọ̀n was killed by terrorists in our land, and up to date, nobody has been picked up for the death of Ọba Ifọ̀n. How many people remember that? Ìnáwó ilé tẹ́tí gbàgbé, the first-class monarch nílẹ̀ Yorùbá was killed. That's his face there. Kidnapper killed a monarch in Ondo State. A security source told our correspondent that Ọba Adeus was earlier kidnapped before he was killed. Wọ́n kọ́kọ́ kidnap ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kó tó pa. Just as wọ́n ṣe pa bàbá wa Owólabí, dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ lọ lánàá. Tí ẹ lọ bá wa ṣe ìsìnkú wọn. Kọ́lọ́run bá wa tẹ́ wọn sáfẹ́fẹ́ rere. Ọba Adégòkè Adéùsì, the Olúfọ̀n of Ifọ̀n, under the Oshe local government area of Ondo State, nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, has been murdered by terrorists suspected to be kidnappers. Ọba Adéùsì was killed on Thursday evening at a spot around Elegbeke axis of the town. Kọ́lọ́run kó fún ọ̀rùnkẹ́ ọba wa. Now, Bàbá Adeboye wá sọ pé, according to him, times have gone by when traditional rulers like Ọba Ifọ̀n were defied and accorded respect. Fúlàní ò kíá bí ọba náà, àbí kò ń ṣọba. Àtẹ̀mọ̀ bí wọ́n gérí ọba yẹn náà, àmọ́ bọ́ ṣe pa, màtẹ̀fí mọ́ bọ́ ṣe pa wọ́n, ṣé ìbọn lọ́ fi wọn ni. I think that currently they were arbitrarily kidnapped, just like Ọba Ifọ̀n. I've showed you evidence. When I talk, I give you evidence to that. He said, in the olden days, except you are one of the special people, they don't allow the king's dress to touch you. Àwọn ọba kan ṣe káàbọ̀ mábọ̀. Ọba kúrò ní palace wọn, wọ́n lọ ní ojú títì tí kò ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n máa rán àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lójú títì tó ń ta kúrúpa, tó ń ta kúlíkúlí, tó ń ta pure water. Wọ́n ní ọba ló ń lọ yẹn, ọba wa ló ń lọ yẹn o. Ọba náà ní ṣí window ẹ̀ fún ẹ bá ń fún wọn níwó bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n á dáwó síbẹ̀, àwọn èèyàn á já ẹ̀lú mọ́tò àgbà níbi tó ti ọba dẹ̀ ti lọ́ntì ẹ̀. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè o. Now, kidnappers can go to the palace of the king. Kidnapper can go to the palace to kidnap the king. We are in war situation. Let no one deceive you. Ẹni tó bá tún sọ pé mi Ọláyọmí Kóìkí of koikimedia ló fẹ́ gbógun wá sí Nàìjíríà. Ògùn lákàyè máa. Wọ́n ti ní kí n máa ṣépè mọ́. Mo reverse ẹ̀. Mo sì mi ti bẹ̀ mí gan. Wọ́n ní kí n máa ṣépè kí n ṣe sùúrù. Mo fẹ́ mu wálẹ̀ délẹ̀ ni. Bọ̀tẹ́yìn bá wá pè ẹ̀yin lè ṣépè yẹn. Èmi dá padà. Mo sì mi ti bẹ̀ mí gan. Ní kí n máa ṣépè lórí broadcast. So I reverse that. I take it back. If ever any one of you say, Nigeria, I want you to take note that even the man of God, the man of God, have also confirmed that we are now in a war situation. Let no one deceive you. I don't want to go further today. So, but this is exactly what he says. We are in war situation. Let no one deceive you. I don't have to go further into that. Now, we can now come back to the Yoruba Strategic Alliance. I don't want to read everything. It's about 1 to 36. So I'm not going to read everything. But this is already on Koikimedia. If you want to have a copy, please do not tell me to send it. I'm not going to send it. Go on program Debbie by and also the website www.koikimedia. Kokoko Media. Kokoko Media. Kokoko Media. So you can go and read about it. What is Shekoni last year? And I think this is just probably maybe an updated one as well. You'll probably have a time to go through that properly because, or maybe I'm going to invite them. But like I said, it's just a proposed constitution. Daddy wa kon pe mi laare one àwọn kalatoke dele, and he saw some little things that he wanted to talk about, and I gave him the number of those behind it, and he was happy. He got back to me and said, Mr. Koiki, thank you so much. So now, níbo ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀? I want to open my phone line and now take your own calls. With my argument and backing of evidence. Nobody should ever say Koiki Media ló fẹ́ gbógun wá sí Nigeria. Pastor Enoch Adeboye, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, sọ pé, and I quote, we are now in a war situation. You only call my studio line. If you call any other number, I'm not going to pick it up. The number is right there on the left-hand side, plus 4474044059117. Mo rí Bashiru látẹ̀ kan. Àwọn back-end team wa tó bá wà níbẹ̀. Àtẹ bá dẹ̀ ti pè, ní gba 6 minutes tí ọkàn máa pẹ́ no, ní time yẹn. Maximum 3-2 minutes. Say what you have to say. Let that somebody else will call. We have the first caller on the line. Hello, good evening and welcome to the program. Ekabo.
Yes, sir.
Nígbà tí kí ni yẹn? Wàláì, mọ̀mísí mi ni mo dẹ̀ love mọ̀mísí mi gan. Mo ti fẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ báyìí. Mo kàn pé ìyá ẹ̀dẹ̀ wà lórí program tó pé ìyé ìwọ ọmọ ìgbà ò sọ pé kò yé ṣe pé mọ̀. Ẹ̀yin ní right, ẹ̀yin lè ṣe pé, but èmi ò ní lè ṣe pé yẹn. Bàbá mi owó ṣe bí kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín. Happy birthday princess. Mo gbé mi padà ní. Èmi ni bàbá mi. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Thank you so much. That's our first caller. Àwọn ọ̀tẹ̀ nígbà kan tó fi sọ náà. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé the next caller as well. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ tẹ́ wà nílé. Hello caller.
White Lion.
Kò pé méjì. Nígbà tá a ní nọ́mbà kan lẹ́ máa pe àwọn kan sì ń pè ní second number. Ẹ waste time nìyẹn. Nọ́mbà tẹ́ máa kó kúkú lọ́wọ́ lọ́wọ́ screen tẹ́ ń wò yìí. Ẹ gbóhùn sókè jàre tèmi. Ẹ kálẹ́ bàbá mi. Èmi nìyẹn.
Ọ̀dọ̀ àmà fún ní agbára àti òkun.
Àmì Jésù Kristi.
Agbára ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ tó bá ti jẹ́ gbogbo láti kílẹ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ó máa bójú sọ fún ọmọ ẹni lórí àjẹwà Nàìjíríà.
Tó ń ṣe kékeré, ìyàn kan ti commit suicide lánàá.
Àwọn ẹ̀mẹ́ta jẹ́ ọlọ́run mọ́jọ́ tó mo ti jẹ́ wọn ẹ̀mẹ́ta gbẹ̀yìn. Ẹ̀kọ́ máa sọ pé kọ́ máa kílẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin náà wo ẹgbẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ tí ń bá wọn bá ẹ̀. Ọba kan wọn ní ní Ṣàgámù. Ó lọ́ wọn wò ìyàwó òun fún nípa lójú ọmọ ẹ̀ ti fún ọba yìí.
Níjọ́ lílé tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí.
Ọba ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní ní Ṣàgámù ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Gbogbo programu ẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ìyẹn kan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹ̀jọ̀ tó ọlọ́run torí rálì tá a fẹ́ ṣe rálì tá a máa wọlé ẹjọ́ ẹ máa rán àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ jáde fún rálì a ní ìdí bí a torchlight or bí a Adébúláìt ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ náà ní sí gbogbo group pátápátá tá a bá máa lọ fún rálì yẹn ẹ lọ ra floodlight tó pọ̀ dáadáa ẹ make sure mo ti bá àwọn kan discuss ẹ ra floodlight ẹ gbé generator nìṣó.
ó gbé sínú báàgì ẹ ìṣe rálì tá a máa lọ lé o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni gbogbo àgbáyé abẹ́ kí gbogbo àgbáyé mọ̀ pé nǹkan ti dé nǹkan bàbá wa Adeboye ti sọ pé ogun ti wà nínú Nàìjíríà báyìí a lè fẹ́ kọ́ wá pa wá.
ìṣe rally tá a máa jáde fún ẹ̀kọ́ máa sọ pé òun lọ lé o omi ló fẹ́ mu ló bá gẹ
ẹ ṣe gan-an àbá mi comrade
ló bá gẹ ẹjọ́ kan tètè máa declare ìṣẹ̀dá tó máa sọ pé kó máa declare kó máa fojú sunkún ọmọ ni o.
àmín àmín.
àbọ̀dọ̀gbọ̀ ẹ̀rù
ó wà important ẹ ṣe gan-an ni thank you so much lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Singapore passport ó ní agbára ó ní kìmí +44 74 04405917 nọ́mbà kan péré òun lè máa fi pè ẹgbọ́n sókè láti Dubai. ẹ kálẹ̀ ìyá mi.
àwọn tí wọ́n ń sọ pé Koiki ló fẹ́ gbógun wá àwọn gangan ni mo fẹ́ bá látàyé ló máa pa wọ́n.
àṣẹ o.
ṣé ti yé nítorí pé kí ni wọ́n máa jòkó sórí prógráàmù wọn wọ́n wá máa sòṣì ọ̀rọ̀ mi mọ bí Yorùbá ṣe máa ń rí òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ nílẹ̀ wọ́n wá máa yí ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí wọ́n máa yí ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí Yorùbá láìkí ẹrú o wọ́n ẹrú dùn mọ́ wọn gan kọ́ máa ṣẹrú ọbì wọn ni ẹnìbọ ṣèbí àtúntò bá ń sìn yẹn mọ̀ pé tí pásítọ̀ àbí àfà ìmọ̀ tí ò bá ti sọ̀rọ̀ wọn kì í gbà.
Ọlọ́run fọ́run kẹ́ bàbá wa kan tí wọ́n kú lánàá imam kan tí bóyá wọ́n slice sínú omi mọ́tò wọn ni I'm sure everybody has seen that it's very very painful. Very very painful.
Nọ́mbọ̀ láti ibi tó ti lọ ṣe program.
ẹ ṣe gan bàbá mi kan ní ẹgbẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀.
Fúlàní àwọn ọmọ sáfún Fúlàní kó má pa wá ojú ọ̀nà dead trap gbogbo ẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ ṣe tí wọ́n ń wo bí àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ṣe tí wọ́n sọ pé Obi tẹ́lẹ̀rẹ́ Tinubu ni.
Waste of time.
Kí ló ṣàwọn èèyàn tó rí wọn pé wọ́n kàn
distraction.
wọ́n distract àwọn èèyàn.
Distraction, yeah.
Distract wọn ni.
Yeah.
So àwọn tó bá ti gbọ́
mo kí Princess Adébímpé.
Pé Koiki ló fẹ́ gbógun wá sí Nàìjíríà èmi fúnra máa sọ pé ogun látàyè ló máa pa nítorí Adeboye ti sọ fún yín pé ogun ti wà already.
Ogun ti wà already.
Ẹ ṣé o.
Thank you so much. Mo kí ìyá mi dáadáa. Thank you so much. Princess Adébímpé Adéyẹmí Princess Awoniyi Princess ò kì í ṣe pet name lineage ọba ni wọ́n +447404405917 nọ́mbà yẹn ló wà nínú box yẹn tó wà ní yellow yẹn fẹ́yìn tẹ́ bá fẹ́ pè. So while we're just taking calls, I can do some other analysis as well. So we've looked at 3 gray areas, though as already proposed constitution here, because it might take a bit of time, so I might have to do that some other time. But what we can now say is, as the movement continue, we know that people are looking at, àwọn tó ń ṣe campaign, ṣé wọ́n ti gbalẹ̀ báyìí, ṣé wọ́n ti faraya báyìí, èyí tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. Let me say this, don't be distracted with whatever is going on in Nigeria. Nigeria like a lot of, ẹ̀rí pé àwọn tó ń jáde gan sẹ̀, they're stressed. A lot of them are mentally stressed. So they need something to just go and, yes, they have the numbers. There's no doubt about that. But it's just to divert us from the reality. And the reality is, àwọn tó ń pariwo yẹn gan wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò lè work. But they're just giving it a push. And we don't want to waste our energy on that. Tó bá yẹ pé a fẹ́ lò yẹn ni, a máa burn energy wà lé lórí. We've done that. A lot of people have, been part of APC, PDP, for years. The political party, there's nothing wrong in that. But what we are saying is, looking at the structure right now, the structure is no longer working. And that is why when you look at this kind of headline that says that we should now think about, return back to true federalism, but the Northerners are not going to give you true federalism because it will give you that power up there. All they can do is to keep us in this bondage. Let's take the next caller and say good evening and welcome to the program. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sà. Adúpẹ́, àmín.
Gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá sọ pé ẹgbẹ́ kógun wá sí Nàìjíríà, òun ló máa pa.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Because tábàlùkà àwòrán àti sẹ́yìn tó fọ́jú. Kò dẹ̀ sẹ́yìn tí kí ẹ dín. Àwọn èèyàn wa ó dàgbé wọn máa fi ohun máa fi ń pè wọ́n ni. Wọ́n rí bí màálù àwọn èèyàn wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n rí bí màálù. Táwọn èèyàn náà bá kúra, wọ́n láwọn kan wà ní wọ́n ráì dára wọn sí gbogbo àwọn kọ́kọ́ sí Yorùbá tó gbé wọn dání. Ṣé àwọn ọmọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ báyọ̀ gbà? Because èèyàn tó fẹ́ wá bá yín gbé yín lé, èèyàn tó fẹ́ gbé pẹ̀lú yín tó gbé ọ̀bẹ dání, tó gbé àdá dání, ẹ mọ̀ pé ó ní mission. So gbogbo ẹni tó bá gbogbo ẹni Yorùbá bá dá dúró òkú ló máa pa ẹnikẹ́ni tó wù kó lè jẹ́ obìnrin tó rẹ́ǹtì ilé tó fẹ́ kúrò ní tó gbé igi ìdáná tó jókòó tó gbé dání lọ sí ilé ibi tó fẹ́ gbé tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn ó yẹ kí lánàá bí ó mọ̀ pé èèyàn tó lè gbé igi ìdáná lásán tó gbé wá síbi tí tó fẹ́ kó lọ yẹn kó mọ̀ pé èèyàn burúkú ni. Yes, so àwọn kan wà tó fẹ́ bóyá ebi ló ń pa wọ́n o bóyá wọ́n lò ọpọlọ wọn ti kọjú sẹ́yìn when we talking about the freedom bóyá àwọn kan wà wọ́n kàwé wọn ò ká pọlọ wọ́n kàn ń gbàbẹ̀ kọjá ni ọpọlọ wọn ti dọ́ta ọpọlọ wọn ti kú àwọn tó kàwé àwọn kan wà wọ́n kàwé wọn ní ọmọ òrónú ibi tó ti fẹ́ bá gbé tọrọ kọ́bọ̀ lórí wọn wá so kọ́nà wà pẹ̀lú wa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa bá a lọ.
Àmín Jésù Kristi. Ẹ ṣé gan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí àwọn jọ ń sọ pé òmìnira Yorùbá òun ló jẹ wá lógún. Nigeria ò lè work. It's a waste of time to try to fix the problem of Nigeria. What we need now is self-determination, which is allowed, under the international law, under the African Union. And our relationship with international community will be very beautiful, will be very good. Let's go to the next caller. Hello, good morning. Actually, 19 minutes past 11. Everyone's okay. Adequate. Adequate.
I'm giving you another name. You are the Minister for Communication from Greater Land. Yes, so you have to fight for it. You are more than it. You are a Minister of Communication. You are communicating rightly, and everybody also can know that.
Thank you.
A quick one, Pastor
Adeboye.
Pastor Adeboye.
Yeah.
So the funniest thing is, at that church, Sanwo-Olu and Ìyàwó were there.
I'm sure Marco making it why you survive.
Sanwo-Olu àti Ìyàwó were there in that time of Ogoti Baba so. So indirectly he's speaking to them.
Parable Baba fi sọ̀rọ̀.
So ọ̀nà àti wọ́n ti understand pé so bàbá ìjẹun ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ọmọ nǹkan tó ń lọ. So kò sí gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá ń sọ pé ẹgbẹ́ ìpìlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ dájà lẹ̀ ọ̀wọ́n náà mọ̀ pé irọ́ ló ń pa gbogbo ọ̀tọ̀ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn irọ́ ló ń pa wọ́n they are just finding a way to rope you but they can't rope you because everybody in Nigeria today mọ̀ pé situation tó wà Nigeria ogun wà lẹ̀ ó terrible ogun wà lẹ̀
ọkọ̀ fi máa Deceive àwọn ọmọ wa ni.
Ọlọ́run á dá wọn lẹ́jọ́ àgbọ̀dá máa sọ nìyẹn Ọlọ́run máa dá wọn lẹ́jọ́ it is well lẹ́tà àti àwọn Nadeco ẹjọ́ tó lọ́run ẹ má yẹ ká follow tí wọ́n yẹn because I was following you when you are reading it I was following what they are saying that they are giving the government
No, I think the point I want us also to take from that letter is just that the self-determination is the option. And whether they are asking for true federalism, nobody's going to get that. Everybody knows the government is not going to listen to that. FEDERALISM has been asking for that for over 30 years. But one point that we just have to pick from there is they believe in self-determination, and that is the one thing that we should stick to. Whatever is the other area that we are not accepting from that, it's not a problem, but just the reason why we just have to talk about it, because that shows that everybody knows that the only way forward is self-determination. Our belief, and that's why I say that if we don't declare by the end of this year, I don't know what will happen going into 2023.
Exactly. So all we are saying, give us our rally and declaration. That's all we are saying. Hello.
Mungwai.
So all we are saying is our mega rally and declaration. That's
Thank you so much. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin reverend sisters, reverend fathers. The number again is +44 74 +44 74 044 05 5917. Anyway, number is not I think it's it. Hello, caller. Eka lesa. I don't know. Okay, Togo. Wow, very beautiful. Ekabo, I'm going. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Inshallah. Amen. Ọlọ́run ló máa ṣe kò ń ṣàwà. Ọlọ́run tó máa ṣe á tì wá lẹ́yìn. Gbogbo àdè lájọ máa wà níbẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Amen. Ẹ ṣé gan-an. Thank you so much. Once again, a very good morning, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are watching us. We're all running different time. Let's go to the new caller as well. Hello, caller. Hello, sir. Thank you so much. Amen. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. In preparedness for the rally, you can go back home and come back. It's not going to be forced on you to stay all the way through. But should you want to do so, you can do so as well, as at the time the rally will be called. Let's take the next call as well. So, hello, caller.
Hello,
Ekabo, sir.
Adeboye.
Well, I mean, we just saw. Well, I mean, that's what we had there from them. I mean, they've been there. So people like Yoruba and Babawa Chief for Padok, I'm sure, they're still there. If they're not there, we're not going to hear from them. Nigeria must return to true federalism or allow self-determination. So self-determination is not a crime. They're still there. Okay.
Therefore, ilẹ̀ wa làwa náà fẹ́ gbà padà. Ẹ̀yin imagine kẹ́nilé kí wọ́n kàn máa kó èrò wọnú ilé yín. Ẹ̀yin tẹnilé kẹ́ má lè béèrè èèyàn wo ló wọlé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe rí ń sìn náà. Kí Fúlàní kan máa wọlé, kí Ìgbò máa wọlé, kẹ́ má lè béèrè pé ẹyẹ èèyàn wo ló tiẹ̀ ń wọlé. So, ṣe rí Yorùbá tá à ń béèrè ilẹ̀ wa ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe bí ẹ̀sìn. Sọwọ́ kan náà. Ká gbé sọwọ́ kan náà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká parapọ̀. Ká kọ́kọ́ gba ilẹ̀ iná. Ká bá gba ilẹ̀ yìí, la máa béèrè. Mr. Yomi, kí lẹ kọ́ nílùú òyìnbó? Nǹkan báyìí ni mo mọ̀ o. Ẹ̀wà kí ló kọ́? Nǹkan báyìí la mọ̀ o. Ó kí ẹja wa kọ́ sórí ilẹ̀ wa. Bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ gba ilẹ̀ yẹn padà náà. Ilẹ̀ yẹn ni kókó ilẹ̀ yẹn dẹ̀ ní Yorùbá nation. Omi ní. Ṣé ní giant tó ń pè wá yẹn gan? Right, one right, wàhálà àmọ̀túmọ̀ ẹ̀. Okay, ẹ̀gbọ́n gòkè mo fẹ́ béèrè question kan. Nínú ẹ̀sìn Christian àti Muslim, ti traditional yẹn, tí wọ́n tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n practice jù lágbàáyé, ibo lẹ́rù ló ti wá. Kò sọ̀dọ̀ Yorùbá ni. Ṣàngó, àwọn Ọya, Ọbàtálá, ibo ló ti wá ọ̀dọ̀ wa ni. Which means giant ni wá nínú giant tó ẹ̀sìn yẹn. But àwọn polish ti wá dáadáa. Ẹ wò tọ́ wọn Muslim, wọ́n polish tí wọ́n dáadáa. ó gbé wọn wọ́n fi parọ́ fáwọn èèyàn àwọn èèyàn ó mọ àwọn èèyàn bá wa àtó tiwa wọn ò dé fẹ́ ká tó wọn Fúlàní ò fẹ́ ká tó òyìnbó náà ò fẹ́ ká tó because àṣírí máa tú nípa dúdú ní gbogbo àgbáyé gbogbo history tí wọ́n kọ nǹkan tó ń kọ pa dúdú ó máa change kàbá gbà kíní gbogbo wa ni wọ́n ń wò gbogbo wa ilé nìyẹn àwa tá wà á lé ó yẹ ká sọ jíjù àwọn tí wọ́n kó lọ náà ẹ jẹ́ ká gba ilé wa nìyẹn ẹ ṣé gan
ẹ ṣé gan thank you so much. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe akitiyan ní rally tí à ń ṣe ní gbogbo àgbáyé especially nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Mo kí àwọn Lady Best ní Italy pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. Mo kí Yorùbá One Voice náà pé a kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Hello caller.
Hello, ẹ kálẹ́ sà.
Ẹ kálẹ́.
Ẹ kú ètò sà.
Ètò nìyẹn.
Àti location 419.
Ẹ̀gbọ́n àìrà ń gbọ́ yín.
Kí Ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa ní location 419.
Àmín.
Normally, ṣẹ́rí ní location 419 ní Nàìjíríà tàwa yìí. France gbogbo nǹkan pátá ló ti gbàgbé. Èmi tẹ̀ ń wo yìí, mo ti ń sick àwọn àìsàn kan tó ṣe ní láti 2007. Tí bá dé General Hospital, owó tí wọ́n gbà ní ọwọ́ àìsàn yẹn ó lè ṣe ní tó tí wọ́n lógun tí yẹ kó hospital ìbò lọ mi ì tí ì rí solution láti gbà. Kí Ọlọ́run kó gba Yorùbá nation wà ní wọ́n ti ba ìlú jẹ́. So àdúrà tí mo máa ṣe fún mi wípé nǹkan tó nínú nǹkan yín àti tí Ọlọ́run ti bàjẹ́.
Àmín. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Thank you so much. Okay, wow. Ọlọ́run bá bá fún yín lálàáfíà ànírà rẹ̀ agbára Ọlọ́run. Adélẹ̀ lérí. Thank you so much. Thank you. And these are so many of reasons why we keep to be one Nigerians. As a lot of you that are in London going out there to campaign for country that was put together. Yes, ẹ̀yin láǹfààní kẹwàá ní UK, but what about the millions of Yoruba people that are out there? Hello caller, good morning, good evening, and welcome once again.
Hello sir, Mr. Koiki ẹ kálẹ́ sir.
Ẹ kálẹ́ o.
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun Ọlọ́run máa tì yín lẹ́yìn o.
Àmín.
Yes sir. Ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tá à ń wí yìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ti gbọ́ ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀hún nígbàgbọ́ nínú ẹ̀. Mo lọ sí ọjà lọ́rọ̀ ẹran ní àná ńgbà tí àwọn òbí ń contest ní wọ́n ṣe campaign.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Níbi àwọn ẹlẹ́ran yẹn àwọn tó ń tẹran yẹn gbogbo wọn Yorùbá dẹ̀ ni wọ́n sọ. Wọ́n ní òbí ló lè ṣe mọ́dẹ sọ fún wọn pé irọ́ kò sí nǹkan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní Yorùbá nation ló lè ṣe. Mọ́dẹ ṣí wọ́n yé mo sọ̀rọ̀ gan-an.
Okay.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ padà gbà tèmi ní yes.
Very good.
Pé Yorùbá ló lè ṣe lóòótọ́ mo ní ká darapọ̀ tó ká ti ó bàbá ṣe mẹ́gà láàrin yẹn kí gbogbo á sọ síta.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ká ṣe láàrin.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Pé lágbára Ọlọ́run bá wa gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àdélẹ̀lẹ̀ láyọ̀ àlàáfíà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ gbà mí gbọ́.
Very good.
Ìwọ́n ṣe kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so Ọlọ́run bá yanjú ẹ̀ sáà.
Ẹ̀yin ti ṣe tọ̀dọ̀ tí nìyẹn ta ní káwọn èèyàn máa ṣe náà nìyẹn. Ẹ bá ti win ní sólè èèyàn kan méjì mẹ́ta because èyí táwọn èèyàn rò ní pé ṣe rí reason táwọn ṣe ń sọ táwọn tó ṣe ń sọ pé òun ló lè ṣe nísìnyí pé because wọ́n ti tired of the shit hole APC and PDP. Wọ́n tún wá ń wọ option pé òbí yẹn ló lè ṣe but wọ́n ti gbà pé under 1999 constitution kò lè rí nǹkan kan ṣe borí ẹ̀ mẹ́wàá látà káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. So and this is what táwọn àwátàbá ti wọ́n engage àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ jẹ́ ká máa sọ pé number one àwọn òyìnbó dem fẹ́ lọ mú lẹ́tà tí article tí Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá my brother my very good brother Masarika díẹ̀ fún wa náà nínú ètò tó kọ ní last ní Saturday yìí. So we must continue to tell people that ìdí tí a ṣe wà backward in the community of the world today mo ti fún yín ní Singapore mo ti fún yín ní àwọn ìlú kélébé is because identity wa tí wọ́n kó sínú Nàìjíríà òun ló affect wa and we are never Nigerians so ẹ ṣé gan ni for that as well at least bó tẹ̀jẹ̀ náà kan lè bá wí ìsọlẹ̀ ara ẹ̀ náà ni ẹ ṣé gan ni.
Auto 15.
Very good, very good and let's keep that ẹ ṣé gan ni so ẹni tó máa ń sọ pé ẹ wọ ọgbọ ibi tí wọn náà bá lọ ẹ máa ṣe engagement yẹn. Welcome, Walata Baoni. So, Bishen Solo, and we need to understand that Muki Yawa Ojora Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on the line show. Yami Bimileke again, African Confidential aside to you. As we are saying, we are now in a crossroad, but we just need to be determined that we want to opt out. Yes, we still need to continue to educate our people. Motiba Omo Asoro Lale Egbe, Taba ti ń jáde 3 minutes. Tọ́ba ti fẹ́ ka national anthem, kọ́ bá wa sọ nípa ìdí tá a ṣe fẹ́ lọ. If after the national anthem as well, they can do the same thing as well. So these are part of the conversation I had with my team earlier on today while they are going out for all the remaining rally as well. Hello, call like boss, okay?
I really appreciate God in your life. Appreciate God. God bless you. More anointing, more power in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ máa pàjù lọ lánàá nígbà mo rí àwọn ọmọ obedient. Mo wá wò títí mo ní lẹ́ni you can give us like this. Nigeria is gone. Yoruba is gone. Bàbá ló bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbàdúrà yìí. Mo mọ̀ fọ́lọ́run ni a ṣe. Ṣé ní gbogbo àwọn obedient tó ń tẹ̀léra wọn yẹn? Nǹkan kan tí mo fẹ́ ká mọ̀ níbẹ̀ ni pé as soon as tí a bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ rally wa, ó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn kan fẹ́ ṣe ni mo kọ́kọ́ rò ó pé I will discuss with you. Níbi mi ìmọ̀ bóyá ká lọ ká lówó ká fi gba coach ká wá kó àwọn èèyàn wá àbí wọ́n jù.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí tó bá ti wọ́n ṣe ní lọ́dọ̀ nísàlẹ̀ lọ́hùn lẹ́mí.
Nísàlẹ̀.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí rally jáde èèyàn ríran wò. Àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan kàn ń dó pé kí rally yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ and there will be a lot of mobilization of different things from different parts of the groups and everybody that are going to be there as well. So, yeah.
I will discuss with you pé bóyá ká rent coach o ká lọ sí Kwara ká má jẹ́ kójú kan la fẹ́ dúró.
Àní gbogbo yẹn máa wáyé sẹ́ ẹ̀yìn akànkanjú ni. Ìjọ tí rally bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ within 24-48 hours a mobilization of people and all that, and it will happen. Credential ojú kan la fẹ́ ṣe. It will happen all over the Yorubaland. So we just wait for that particular time. You know, it will happen. It will happen. Eban Kidadi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben.
Not going sick down. Just they need what will take them out of this poverty. So they put their hope in Obi, but as soon as your nation stands, you will see everybody will come back home.
I totally agree with that as well. I totally agree with that as well.
So I still pray that God should help us.
Amen.
And wherever we know we can do something, please don't just let me know.
Okay.
Early.
All right, no problem. Yami. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me quickly read a very powerful article that was put together by one of our brother, Mr. Kayode Emola, and it was so powerful in the sense that there was quite a lot of point that was discussed in there, and I want to share that with us. Some of you must have read it on my platform, but if you haven't done so, I can read it again. Okay, why is it telling me? Okay, now this is the article. It normally published on the Boss newspaper, every Saturday. So let me read that quickly. Calls in me to my wale. Voice of emancipation, transformation through Yoruba nation, the beginning of the end. And I want us to listen carefully. These views of his is also very powerful, and we have to be all determined. Yes, we will have one or two people that are saying it's not going to happen, but Tabati are determined. We will definitely get there as well. Dr. Benjamin, welcome on board as well to the program. And this is what Kayode Emola wrote 2 days ago. Voice of emancipation, transformation through Yoruba nation, the beginning of the end. Wọ́n ní tó bá níbẹ̀rẹ̀ ó gbọ́dọ̀ níparí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyá wa Comfort Adélẹ́yẹ and gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń bá wa lọ lórí ètò náà. As we enter, mo fẹ́ expand it there. Yeah, that's it. Let me bring it back up like that. At least everybody can read it with me as well. A lot of you that have big screen TV like myself, you can watch me on your comfortable sofa. And there's so many quiet listeners. I had a call from a brother today, first time caller. They've been following what we are saying. We are not fighting anybody, whether you are working in the banking sector, you're a lawyer, you are whatever you are. What we are saying is we are better off to be a nation, and we can stand with other nations around the world, like the South Korea. You look at the South Korea, their passport index is number 2 in the world. You look at Singapore, their passport index is number 4. You look at Japan, their passport index as well is number 3. And when you look at their GDP, Singapore GDP is about almost 340 billion US dollars. And when you look at, maybe I should just give, before I can talk about M online, let me go and look at Singapore tourism. Let's just find something that we can touch on, their tourism. Their tourism, why people want to go to Singapore. Let's just go and look at something there. 3rd consecutive year of growth for Singapore tourism, according to the government, the Singapore government. So let's open that. So this is coming from, the government official of the Singapore. The 3rd consecutive year of growth for Singapore tourism sector, and this was in 2018. Singapore, 13th of February 2019, the article, 2008 marked another strong year for Singapore tourism sector, with both tourism receipts and visitors arrivals achieving new high. The core in tourism industry of BTMIC, hotel, cruise also posted strong results. Àwọn ò tí ní àwọn hotel tá à ń pè lóòtẹ́ẹ̀l. Àwọn hotel tẹ́ ẹ ní nísìn, àwọn bọ́lẹ̀ kájà ni wọ́n. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn hotel tí àwọn àgbáyé máa lè dé sí, tó máa ní safety, tó máa lè ní top class, cuisine of Yoruba meal or international meal. Débi pé tó bá wá jẹ breakfast láàárọ̀, wọ́n máa rí àkàrà, wọ́n máa rí ògì, wọ́n máa rí mọ́ínmọ́ín, wọ́n máa rí àwọn cuisine wa, àti wá ní tó ń pè ní international cuisine. Fíyàn bá travel, fáwọn tó ti travel, wọ́n máa ń pè kíní kan ní English breakfast, but wọ́n tún máa tún wá ṣe international cuisine fáwọn tí kò lè jẹ English breakfast yẹn. And this is what we are saying to the Mickey Babs. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladi Olakunle, welcome on board. All hail Biafra if we have them on the broadcast as well. So if you look at the tourism, and I want us to keep an eye on this area, right? Tourism lásán leleyo, èyí tẹ́ ń pariwo pé kí la máa jẹ, kí la máa mú. The tourism receipt rose 1.0% to 27.1 billion US dollars, mainly due to growth in visitor arrival across almost all the top 15 mark and high visitor spending from, àwọn ìlú tó yẹ pé tó bá wá bẹ̀ wọ́n máa náwó. So ìwọ tó wà ní Kwara State lẹ́ni nísìn tí ìdánwò Yorùbá bá dá dúró, o lè understand the magnitude of tourism tó máa wọnú Kwara State. And the same goes to Ondo, Ekiti, Ọ̀ṣun. Èèyàn kan ní at least kódà bó bá tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé washman ló bá ń ṣe fún hotel tó ń bá wọn tó ń bá wọn ṣe kí ni àwọn tó máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní hotel yẹn, àwọn tó máa ń tẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀dì nǹkan yẹn, housekeeper, ẹlòmíràn ṣe. There will be so many jobs. There will be so many opportunities. Ama Uche, thank you so much. There will be a lot. And we can also then say to ourselves that, look, tourism is one key sector that the world is waiting for. Àwọn òkúta ńláńláńlá, àwọn places tẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn máa lọ visit. Ẹlòmíì máa wá ṣe camping nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, but they can't come now in the condition that we are in Nigeria today. And that is why we are saying we should get the hell out. So let me quickly read again back what Mr. Kayode Emola said. As we enter the final quarter, because the final quarter Yoruba Nation movement láwà, ẹ má jẹ́ kí anybody sọ fún wa pé àìtí ready láti declare pé wọ́n kàn máa pa gbogbo wa dànù ní irọ́ ńlá ni. It's a blank lie. We are ready to declare and we are ready to go. ó better ká jẹ́ kí pain yẹn ká inflict pain yẹn nísìn ká go through pain yẹn nísìn so that we can be preparing our mind. The global community will not get involved in Nigeria if it doesn't get to a final. They will continue to say they will support Nigeria in election because Nigeria is a sovereign nation. It is we, the Yoruba people, the Biafra people, the Hausa people, the Middle Belt people that will stop and say that we want self-determination and we want opt-out of Nigeria. Because Baba Adeboye says, and I quote, that we are now at war. Let no one deceive you. Nigeria is at war. Àti wà lójú ogun. So if you are still of the view, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyá wa Táíwò Lámìnà, that pé àsí nínú ogun àti wà lójú ogun. Bàbá mi Karùn-ún Abíọ́dún, thank you so much. Yes, support our media. If anybody is saying that we are asking for money, it is done across the world. Ibi tẹ́mi gbé lélẹ̀, ebi ò gbé ní Nàìjíríà. I don't collect brown envelope from any of the politicians. The members of the public support media. It is done. It is legal. But it is illiterate people that will say, wọ́n gba owó lórí social media. Èmi ń gbà dáadáa o. And without any regret. Ẹ rí pé mo ti bá yín fi gbogbo bí tẹ́lẹ̀ fún mi lówó sí. Ẹ lè fún mi ní Bitcoin. Tó bá yẹ pé rùn báyìí pẹ̀pẹ̀ yẹ kó trace owó yín, ẹ fi owó sínú Bitcoin. Ẹ lè fi owó sínú First Bank account mi. Ẹ lè fi owó sínú Barclays mi. Ẹ lè fowó sínú PayPal mi Musa Kalam 1. Ẹ má ṣe mistake lọ́sàn sí tẹlomi o. Torí mídíà mi lẹ́fẹ́ fún lówó. Musa Kalam 1@yahoo.com. Ẹ lè sanwó sí inú cash app. Tẹ bá ṣàti type Ọláyọmí Kóìkí àgbéjáde. Èmi ò ní Zelle, èmi ò pé mi ò gbé l'Amẹ́ríkà. So if anybody is saying that we are asking for money, I do ask for money all the time because I'm a media practitioner. And I've been doing that even before we start Yoruba Nation. But illiterate people are the one that will say, wọ́n gba owó lórí social media. Èmi ń gbà dáadáa o. Torí pé The Guardian newspaper ń gba owó. Mo ń san owó fún BBC. Ọlọ́run mo yọ tí mo ti wo BBC nílùú yìí. Mo ń san tó ń pè ní TV license. Now let's go back to Kayode Emola once again. As we enter the final quarter of the year, and adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń fún wa ní monthly donation, super chat, this and that, we appreciate you all. It's going well for me. And at least, I'm not working. This is what I do. And I don't think some people understand what they call freelance. Using my time to promote and fight for the cause of Yoruba Nation using our media. It's just coming up to 15 minutes before 12 midnight. I'm not okay, but we still have to be making sure that we run a program for the success of our movement. Because, as I said, Ati wa lójú agbami, and from the time the rally comes out, Koikimedia will be running a 24 hours non-stop program. And that's why we need a very powerful system to complement the 130 If you want to buy it from me, buy it and send it to me. But buy something very, very powerful. At least something that has the graphics, that has the durability. Because from the time tí rally bá ti jáde, Ìgbòho ti sọ pé Koiki 24/7 media non-stop. Bó dẹ̀ ṣe máa rí nìyẹn láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. Wọ́n bá náà dárúkọ Ìgbòho lórí program. Yes, I have every right to dárúkọ Ìgbòho. Sorúkọ dáde yìí ni kí n máa dá ni. Orúkọ Ìgbòho ni máa máa dá. Because Ìgbòho òun ni bàbá tí ó sọ pé àsìkò tó. But like I say, we have so many illiterate, but we can't blame so many people. That is what Nigeria have done. I have lived there in a civilized society for the last 20 years. 1998 mo kúrò nílùú yìí. Inú ilé Ọládé lọ bí mi sí. Láì sọ pé kinní kan. Ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ wà lórí program. 23 countries ló ti lọ lágbàáyé yìí. Kò ń ṣe pé mo fi ń post. Dọ́là ló jẹ́ kí mo sí mi kúrò nílé ní 1991. Dọ́là ti lọ sí 40 naira. Èló ni dọ́là tẹ́ ń pariwo nísìnyí. Dọ́là ló mú mọ́ sí tèmi kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Visa dẹ̀ mo fi wọ̀ lóyè. Yes, or BBC bíbá. And that's why I say it all the time. British is so wicked. 14 years níbi tó gba immigration paper mi. But at the end of the day, èèyàn mélòó ni mo lè kó wá sí bíbá? Ṣé wọ́n tẹ̀ fún yín ní visa? Èèyàn mélòó ló ń fún ní visa nísìnyí kó wá sí ìlú yìí? So ẹni tó bá wọnú bíbá ẹ̀ tó tún wá ń sọ pé níbi tá a sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tó tún sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà, ẹnìyàn wicked ni. Because ìtẹ̀yìn oúnjẹ kúnnú lé nísìnyí mo rẹ ni bá mi jẹ́. Bí yàn bá ń lọlé, ẹ bá wa gbọ̀gùn síbì, ẹ bá wa gba ajé, ẹ bá wa fún àwọn èèyàn. Ẹrù yín náà la máa ń kó wálé tó pọ̀ jù. Ẹ̀yin gan lẹ̀ jẹ́ àwọn Nàìjíríà ni kò jẹ́ káwa gan wà prosper nílùú yìí. Tí bá fẹ́ gun Mercedes, mo lè gun Mercedes. But one thing a lot of people don't understand is majority of the diaspora are tired. And that's why we are saying we can be a nation. Singapore is not even up to 6 million population. And I think we have it somewhere there. When the population no, not this one. Again, close the lane. Singapore, gbogbo population Singapore leni. Gbogbo population is 5.68 million. Don't let anybody deceive you that we should not declare Yoruba nation. I see gbáradì tán, àìtí ṣetán, ó kù díẹ̀ o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fail láti declare Yoruba nation nínú ọdún yìí. I don't know what is going to happen next year. That's all I'm just going to say. So let me read again quickly. As we enter the final quarter of the year and draw our series on transformation through Yoruba nation to its conclusion, our journey towards attaining our sovereign Yoruba nation edges closer and closer by the day. Many people have prophesied that we will realize Yoruba nation before the end of the year. Whilst I am not a prophet, I want to believe them wholeheartedly in order to not be the doubter that drags the prophecy down. A ní pé ká lọ nínú ọdún yìí, àwọn ọ̀kan tó ń ṣe doubting mind. Ọkàn wa ń lọ sókè, ó ń lọ sílẹ̀. Àìtí gbáradì tán, a ní owó ta fẹ́ fi bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà, ta ló sọ pé fẹ́ bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà, a náà fẹ́ bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà, a náà fẹ́ gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba ni. A náà máa bá àgbáyé ṣe, a sọ pé ta bá gba Yorùbá nation tó, a máa become hostile. Some of you are concerned about what about the other ethnic group tó ń gbé láàrin wa. We should not worry. You will still be respected. Your dignity will be respected as much than what it is right now in the shithole country you call Nigeria. Let's continue. I have received several calls and message on the topic asking if Yoruba independence is achievable this year. Some people have even mentioned my recent silence on the matter. I understand the anxiety of our people are facing, and I want you to all know that we are in the same boat, all on this journey together. I am not going to give a running commentary of everything that has been occurring behind the scenes. However, I will offer my thought and insight on these background happenings. I have a strong conviction that the Yoruba nationhood will be actualized sometime this year in 2022. Inshallah, lórúkọ Jésù Kristi, láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, inú ọdún yìí náà ni. Àwọn kan béèrè pé kí ló dé tí ọkàn wa ṣe balẹ̀ bó máa jẹ́ inú ọdún yìí. It's because we should have that same mind that if we are saying we want Yoruba nation, why should we wait for another time? Why not now? Why should we delay it? There's no reason for us to delay it. We declare Yoruba nation, whatever the pain, whatever the outcome, we will still justify the declaration of Yoruba nation. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody mislead you anymore. Yoruba nation must be declared before the 2022. That's the only way forward. My name is Olamileka of Koikimedia. I take that again. I have a strong conviction, this is Adeboye speaking now, that the Yoruba nationhood will be actualized sometime this year in 2022. I have a leading in my spirit that the time for preparation has finished. And just like the commandment given to the Israel in the Bible, it is now time to take action and claim our country, the land from the river Coral to the edges of river Benue down to Delta into Atlantic Ocean. We are not saying we're going to fight the Nigerian government or the Nigerian military, but we have the right, according to the international law, the African Union, to defend ourselves. Yoruba nation must be actualized without any doubt in my mind. In 1975, East Timor declared their independence from Portugal. Self-determination is not a crime. The greatest obstacle that may hinder us is fear. Eru ló fẹ́ pa wá báyìí. Hey, tá bá lọ declare ìjẹ́ federal government ò ní gbé Roma tank jáde, wọn ní gbé fighter jet jáde, yẹn wọn ní pa gbogbo wa. Let's take that fear out of us. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ̀kan akin. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ̀kan akin obìnrin. Ẹ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ̀kan kí ọmọdé. Gbogbo àwọn ìlú tá à ń dárúkọ tá à ń sọ pé wọ́n ń lọ káàkiri tó ń ṣe wàhálà níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, wọ́n ṣọ̀kan kí ni. And that's why they are able to conquer as many countries around the world. Yes, we might not have everything, but we must use our heart, our mind. We must use all our intellectuals to tell the world that we are the most peaceful people in the world and we are ready to work with the international community as quickly as we declare Yoruba nation. We will organize people that will travel around to different countries, from small countries to the big countries, from countries that are not even up to 20,000 today in the world. Tuvalu is a population of less than 12,000. We will speak to them. Tuvalu is even speaking on behalf of Taiwan at the United Nations General Assembly. Moki Prophet Ologoluwa, Moki Mubayi, T.N. Shishe Takuntakun. Okay, I'm going in California. My name is OLAMILEKAN. Don't let the fear to kill us before we even have our nation. Wọ́n ní kò sí tó ń bọ̀ lókè tí ilé ọgbà. Àwa kọ́ la máa kọ́kọ́ ṣerú eléyìí rí. We should be ready and prepare our mind as the time is getting closer. In 1991, December 26, as at the January of that year, a lot of the Soviet people will be doubting that their country will break up. 12 months precisely in that same year, Soviet Union was dissolved. 15 countries came out of Soviet Union. Lára àdúrà ń rò ẹni Ukraine, lára àdúrà ń sọ ní Estonia and Azerbaijan, and so many of those countries. This happened not in 1970, not in 1960. It actually happened in 1991. Àìmọye ọmọ Yorùbá tó bí ní 1991. Don't let anybody fool you that it has never happened before. Soviet Union dissolved. We would dissolve Nigeria to as many countries as we want. It doesn't matter if we want to have smaller countries. The fear is what we should take away from our heart. Àjẹká shop market together. Ìgbòho nìkan kọ́ ló fẹ́ ṣe, bàbá Akíntóyè nìkan kọ́ ló fẹ́ ṣe, kò ń ṣe Yorùbá One Voice nìkan ló fẹ́ ṣe, kò ń ṣe Global Coordinator, kò ń ṣe Yorùbá Central Office, kò ń ṣe OPC, kò ń ṣe Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà, kò ń ṣe Yorùbá Central Determination Movement. It is involving every one of us to say we are now ready to declare our nation out of the contraction called Nigeria. America ò lè bá yín declare, United Kingdom ò ní bá yín declare, France ò ní bá yín declare. Ẹ lọ wo ohun tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní Burkina Faso. Ogun ń lọ níbẹ̀ báyìí tó ń bínú sí ìjọba France. And let me quickly show that for the benefit of those of you that probably say you are doubting what I'm saying. Tí bá sọ̀rọ̀ níbí báyìí. Yes, I think it's Burkina Faso. Tó ń gbóná burúkú lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Burkina. Oh no. Tó ń gbóná tó ń yọ eruku tó ti sọ embassy àwọn Faransé tó wà níbẹ̀. Tó náà wọ́n dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Àwọn ní a máa pààyàn. Ní a máa ṣe jàǹbá fún yàn. Intan sọ ni pé òmìnira lẹ̀ Yorùbá. Burkina Faso lẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Wọ́n sọ embassy France lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. What we are saying is, we are going and we are going. These are people that are determined to take back the control of what belongs to them. Angry citizens of Burkina Faso attacked the French embassy in Burkina Faso. The greatness of France was built on the external exploitation of Africa. The likes of Aisha Yusuf and Rino would have defended France if they were from Burkina Faso. Don't let anybody fool you. My name is OLAMILEKAN. Ànáfẹ́ pààyàn, ànáfẹ́ jà. Intan sọ ni pé a máa jáde wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́. Ẹ yọ ẹ̀rù kúrò gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo wa la máa wà on the ground, but ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ṣọ́ pákí. Àwa máa fi gbogbo tá a bá ní níta, a máa fi support yín. Financially, morally, and I will use my media 24/7 when the rally starts. Tó bá jẹ́ kí n máa sùn sórí broadcast ni màá máa sùn. And if I need extra hand, I will bring in as many diaspora that are outside, that will be ready to work with koikimedia at that time. Tí bá lọ sùn 3 hours, àwọn máa ṣe program lọ. A máa run program 24/7 when the rally is out. That schedule máa rí mú sọ. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀. We are preparing a lot of things for you all. If the federal government does otherwise, we will report them as we've done so before to the International Criminal Court. Yoruba nation must be declared this year without any hesitation in my mind. We have the right to do so. Need the Obasanjo láti declare fún wa. Need àwọn àgbàlagbà kankan. We will go along with Professor Banji Akintoye, Chief Mrs. Modupe Onitiri, and Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. If you are not happy with Mrs. Onitiri, that is your own cup of tea, not mine. We will work with everybody that wants us out. If you have any problem with any one of them, that is your own cup of tea, not koikimedia. We will declare Yoruba nation with our leaders. The time is now getting closer. I think prepare, and we will work with all the organization. Itoba na ni declare wa ba wa lẹ́nu ẹni. It's a moving train. Tí bá dé orí platform. Nígbà mi train máa wà ńbẹ̀ tí máa wọlé. Ìgbà mi àti tilẹ̀kùn máa dó fún mi ni. Ẹ bá wa lẹ́nu ẹni, ẹ tó bá náà wọ́n ti ready. Let's continue. The greatest obstacle that may hinder us is fear, ìbẹ̀rù. Not fear of the unknown, but fear that if we don't win, don't ever think that we will not win. We have already won the government. We may have to start all over again. However, I believe that if we don't take that risk now to reclaim our country from Nigeria, then everything we have labored for will be jeopardized. I pray that our labor for freedom shall not have been in vain. Ẹ ṣọ̀kan kí gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ wà nílé. Ẹ dúró tán. Ẹ prepare mind yín. Àsìkò tá à ń sọ yẹn ti dé. Gbogbo ohun tó lúkálùkù bá ní ìmọ̀, ní ọpọlọ, ẹ lọ máa gbáradì fún. So, to elaborate on the journey that has been ongoing and what has been happening in the background, toward the end of last year, we initiated a 4-stage approach for progression. A lot of people will always say, we are not ready. Prepare to. Ẹ jẹ́ ká túbọ̀ ṣe díẹ̀ sí. Ẹ sọ fún wọn pé a máa ṣe gbogbo ìtókù nígbà tá a bá declare. Nígbà tá a bá ti declare, a lè gbé transmitter wọlé. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń pariwo owó rédíò dà, wọ́n ti kó owó rédíò jẹ. At least ẹ tẹ̀ ní ṣe yẹn fúnra yín. Because ẹ fẹ́ ṣe rédíò, ẹ ti gbàgbé pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan tí ìgọ́gbà fún yín. Ẹ ṣe lọ gba license kẹ́ lọ ṣe rédíò sísàlẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin ò ṣe lọ gba license ẹ lọ gba license lọ́wọ́ Lai Mohammed kẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ṣe rédíò nísìnyí bí wọ́n máa fún yín ní license yẹn. Stupid people all over the place. But tá a bá ti declare Yoruba nation, a máa ní access láti ṣe so many things without considering any shit old constitution that we are running under. Ẹ fẹ́ ṣe rédíò, ẹ̀yin ò mọ̀ pé rédíò tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe yẹn pé nǹkan pè ní pirate radio station la fẹ́ ṣe. Wọ́n ti náwó rédíò, àwọn ibi tó wo rédíò wà, ìyẹn náà ní kẹ́ jókòó tì, kẹ́ má move forward. Ìyẹn ní kẹ́ jókòó tì. Mad people all over the place. Màmá mi dẹ́ ti ní kí ó tutù gbàgbéra. Ẹ tètè ká declare ká gbá transmitter ká gbé transmitter jáde káriwo máa ta káàkiri gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ lọ ra transmitter sílẹ̀ nísìnyí so that tá bá ti declare Yorùbá nation kẹrin transmitter mọ́lẹ̀. Gbogbo tá a lè ṣe nígbà tá a bá declare a ní right láti ṣe without waiting for any governor or any politician. Àwọn ọlọ́ni ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni gbogbo alájọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá náà. But tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti declare ìwọ̀nba náà la máa ṣe. Wọ́ọ̀gbọ́ tá à ń sọ yìí nísìn tá bá ti declare nísìn gbogbo transmitter tẹ́kẹ́ lọ máa rà nísìn ẹ ṣe ń wọ́wọ́ rédíò kiri náà ẹni tẹ́ ń pa mí owó rédíò tẹ́kọ́ fún Koiki òun náà mo fi ń jàkàrà mo fi ń jẹ̀kọ́ owó ni mo fi jàkàrà mo fi jẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀rí mo fi kọ́lé sí Nàìjíríà òun mo fi ra mọ́tò òun mo fi ń tọ́ yàwó àtọmọ. In the 80s ni mo sì mi ti ń ṣe U-turn lọ sí United States of America púpọ̀ nu yín family yín mi ò tí lálàá pé òun fi travel. Kọ́ tó bí mi ní 1978 nìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ tí ń travel. Wọ́n lọ ìlú kan níjọ́ kan nígbà tí ṣé Bombay kan nàbí India nígbà tó máa dé báyìí dókítà wọn béèrè lọ́wọ́ pé alájà kí lẹ wá lọ sọ́nà ọ̀bẹ yẹn. Bombay náà ni wọ́n ní àwọn aṣọ tó dáa lọ́bẹ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n dọ̀tí bí iyẹ̀pẹ̀ wọ́n dọ̀tí bí wèrè. Tó bá ń jẹun nínú mọ́tò níbi àwọn àjàgbàmọ́ ẹ lọ́wọ́ wọ́n pọ̀ bí eru Ọlọ́run ni nígbà tó máa dé báyìí wọ́n ti wà dehydrated ẹ̀ tó bá mú mi púpọ̀ because Coke náà mú ó lè mú mi gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn. I'm talking about in the 90s up to the 80s wọ́n máa ń lọ sí Bombay lọ rajà ńjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Tó dé báyìí ni wọ́n sọ fún wọn pé kí lọ́ wá lọ síbẹ̀. Bọ̀tẹ́ tó bá ń ṣe ọrọ̀ ajé làwọn ìyá wa máa ń ṣe gbogbo wa wà lábroad nísìn à ń tọ́jú arúgbó ṣiṣẹ́ hospital yes is good àwọn amọ́tò business làwọn ìyá wa máa ń ṣe. Èmi gbọ́njúmọ̀ ìyá mi tó ń ṣe business àìmọye ọmọ Yorùbá nísìn ní dọ́là nílé nísìn ní lórílẹ̀-èdè tó fẹ́ rí. À ń sọ pé Bombay ó dọ̀tí bí kábíyèsí Ọlọ́run nígbà tí wọ́n sì máa fi dé báyìí hospital Orlando sí. Stupid people. àwọn owó rédíò náà nìkẹ́ máa wá ẹ má lọ wá bẹ ṣe máa ra transmitter sílẹ̀ tá a bá ti declare kan rè mọ́lẹ̀ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí broadcast. So to elaborate on the journey that has been ongoing and what has been èmi ò dẹ̀ wá bí yàn kan anyway ìyàwó mi tẹ̀sí bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí tó wá sórí show lálẹ́ ìgé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń dákẹ́ tẹ bá tọ́ mi ń jà pẹ́rẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ rédíò yẹn máa gbá sí fún gbogbo yín látòkè délẹ̀ ni mad people ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìjà continue program yìí ká lọ declare ká lè ṣe so many things ká ní right ẹ lọ gba license lọ́wọ́ Lai Mohammed nísìnyí kẹ́ni ẹ fẹ́ ṣe rédíò ṣó máa fún yín ẹ mọ̀ pé jàǹgbára ó máa involve so many things ìmí gbogbo nǹkan pé gbogbo nǹkan la máa mọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan kọ́ lèmi náà mọ̀ nínú jàǹgbára yìí ìtọ́ bá fẹ́ ká mọ̀ la máa mọ̀ but everybody fẹ́ mọ̀ kí ló ti rà síbẹ̀ yẹn sọ́ ti rà nǹkan pamọ́ tá a máa fi jà kí ló kó síbẹ̀ yẹn àwa sọ múfì lẹ́rù pa ń ṣe ni reality nìkan tó wà níwájú wa yìí náà kò ń ṣe múfì lórí United Nations yọ sọ fún pé United Nations máa ń fihàn nílùú yìí a máa declare ní United Nations adé máa ṣe Security Council láti máa sọ́ọ̀tì tó wà nílẹ̀. So to elaborate on the journey that has been going on, that has been ongoing, and what has been happening in the background towards the end of last year, we initiate a 4-stage approach for progression. These 4 stages are awareness, coordination, mobilization, and implementation. Most of the time, táwọn èèyàn bá pè mí wá ní implementation, lè perfect. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ó máa ṣiṣẹ́ léra tó wá yá ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, bàbá mi olúwa ṣe, the kingdom of God suffer violence, but violence takes it by force. Yorùbá nation ti dé àìsí àní níbẹ̀, ẹ̀rù ní ká mú kúrò. I am pleased to announce to the Yoruba people that we are now at the implementation phase. For last year, we have been intensifying coordination, mobilization, phases, vital prerequisites for implementation. Our efforts have been focused both on internal and external, reaching out to our own people as well as foreign government and international organizations. No time to check time, declaration no time. Gbogbo nǹkan la fẹ́ mọ̀ kò lè possible. Àwọn nǹkan míì wà á máa mọ̀, àwọn nǹkan míì wà á ní mọ̀, àwọn nǹkan míì after tá a bá gba Yorùbá nation lẹ́ẹ̀ máa kà nínú ìwé àbí kọ́ máa sọ nínú ìtàn. Gbogbo nǹkan làwa fẹ́ mọ̀, ṣé fíìmù làwa ṣe èmi wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí James Bond ṣé gbogbo nǹkan la máa sọ fún yín. Mo tẹ́ mọ̀ pé Elon Musk mọ́tò James Bond ni àwọn kan rà ní $100 òun padà rà ní $1 million. Ó ti build mọ́tò kan tóun náà lè lọ nínú abẹ́ omi, mo ń wò nínú YouTube láàárọ̀ ìyẹn Elon Musk. Let's be innovative. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ẹ wà creative láti pé whatever is going to happen ẹ wà creative pẹ̀lú environment yìí pẹ̀lú nǹkan tẹ́ lè lò. Ẹ̀yin máa béèrè gbogbo nǹkan ẹ wà creative. Mo sọ fún yín pé mo ń wo fíìmù kan lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ documentary kan kinní kan àwọn tó ṣe mo máa ń gbàgbé mo sọ lánàá lórúkọ series táwọn wo every Friday la máa ń rí mo sọ lánàá mo lè tún ti gbàgbé anyway wọ́n ní stage kan àwọn kékeré lọ gbàsí fún àwọn àgbàlagbà àwọn monsters yẹn by planning pé tó bá tẹ̀ dé báyìí la ṣe máa ṣe báyìí tó bá tẹ̀ kó sójà jáde lọ́nà ọ̀bẹ yẹn ok tó bá ń bọ̀ láti ibẹ̀ yẹn ẹ mọ gbogbo ibi tó gbà wọlé ládùúgbò yín ẹ dẹ̀ dúró tán orí Prime Video ló wà yes you're right mo ń gbádùn ẹ̀ báyìí mo tẹ̀lé wait for next week kí n wo the next one because ti lọ ṣí flood báyìí gbogbo mi ti yà sí gbogbo òlu àwọn tó ṣe Lord of the Rings ló ṣe but kinní kan ring of power ẹni tó bá lè lọ wò ó series ni mo ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ó dùn fún nípa ọ̀ràn ìjà náà ni gbalẹ̀ káàkiri gbalẹ̀ all over the place. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sẹ́ndì èèyàn kan ń ṣe exercise kí ni kàn mí pẹ́lẹ́ tó ń ṣe exercise ní London. Àníkà focus ẹlòmíà kọ́ máa send unnecessary video tẹ́ kẹ́ máa bá wa cut àwọn video tọ́dọ̀ tí wa èèyàn kan tó ń ṣe exercise ẹ wá máa fi yẹn block messages ẹlòmíà fi send message tó ní wọlé. For the last year okay àti kàbẹ̀ yẹn let's move forward. For the last year, we have been intensifying the coordination and mobilization phases vital prerequisites for implementation. Our efforts have been focused both on internally and externally, reaching out to our own people, just as we have been doing all these rallies around the Yorubaland, as well as foreign government and international organizations, to increase awareness and support for Yoruba independence. I am pleased to report, Kayode Mola ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí nínú article tí ó released 2 days ago. I am pleased to report that response has vastly surpassed our expectation. Ẹ realize pé tá a bá declare àwọn ìlú kan máa lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló máa fún wa ní recommendation, because the kingdom that has been there before, ó ṣe pé àṣẹ pé, you know, yeah, ring of power, you're right, Mr. Babatunde. Very powerful, you know, series. With several powerful nations and individuals voicing sympathy to our plight and offering guidance on our steps. As the implementation strategy reaches fine-tuning, fine-tune kan, ó ti ń débẹ̀. A lot of our people are ready in themselves for the actualization of Yoruba nation. Àwa tá wà níta a níṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ tá máa ṣe láti ran àwọn èèyàn wa nílé nígbà tí a bá ti ṣe kíni tí declaration bá máa wáyé. Àwa diaspora ní gbogbo àgbáyé, kódà tó bá jẹ́ pé aṣọ Yorùbá nation nìkan ló máa wọ̀ lójoojúmọ́, ó gbọ́dọ̀ máa wọ̀ ọ́ nígbà yẹn. Tó bá jẹ́ fìlà Yorùbá nation, kódà jacket tó fẹ́ máa wọ̀ gan, ẹ lọ lẹ Yorùbá nation mọ́ lára, torí a máa fẹ́ wọnú òtútù nísìn. So that gbogbo ìgbà tá a bá ti declare Yorùbá nation, bó pa tẹ̀ jáde fún rally, tó bá ń jáde lọ nínú gbogbo ibi tó ń lọ nílùú tó wà, kó máa mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ni ẹ́. Tó bá fẹ́ ra flag lọ́wọ́ tiwa kò ń ṣe dandan fẹ́yìn tẹ́wà lábroad, èyí náà lè lọ ṣe. We must start preparing our mind for when a declaration happens for at least the first 3 months. Gbogbo wa gbọ́dọ̀ máa make sure pé gbogbo nǹkan tó máa appear lára wa nǹkan Yorùbá nation ni. Tàbá ti ń jáde àtàṣọ, gbogbo aṣọ tẹ bá nílẹ̀, ẹ fi yẹn sílẹ̀ for now, ọ̀ọ́kọ́ kẹlọ customize sílẹ̀. Lára tó máa support àwọn èèyàn nílé nìyẹn. Ìtorí ẹ̀yin gbogbo akọ́ la máa lè lọ́lé, kò possible. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ lè lọ́lé kó máa lọ́lé, but kò ń ṣe gbogbo la máa lọ́lé. Kò dẹ̀ ṣe gbogbo náà la máa lè máa jáde at the time fún rally. But at least we must prepare our mind. Pé gbogbo kódà títí kan fìlà tẹ́ fẹ́ máa dé àti muffler tá a máa ń fi sọ́rùn fún òtútù tó fẹ́ dé nísìnyí tó máa ó ti súyàn báyìí. Wà náà tútù àwọ̀ tá a máa wẹ̀ sí sálẹ̀ wà wọ̀ sókè àmọ́ dira bí bàbá sòwé káàkiri. Anílẹ̀ tó ń rùn wà ń bẹ̀, ta lè máa lọ máa cultivate, ta lè máa sọ di nǹkan tó hotel tourism gbogbo ẹ̀. Àjókòó sí London, àjókòó sí America, jókòó sí Spain, jókòó sí Italy, jókòó sí Germany, jókòó sí France. Ẹlòmíà wá ti ra mọ́tò kékeré kan tó ń rọra ń sanwó ẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀, ó di big boy, ó di big woman. Mo máa ń sọ pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní ṣọ́ọ̀pù nílùú yìí, ó yẹ kẹ́yìn máa supply wọn nílùú yìí ni, ó yẹ àwa jẹ́ bí the main trader nílé, bó ṣe láti rí nìyẹn. Ẹ wá ní ṣọ́ọ̀pù kékeré ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ti ṣe wò. Àwa kọ́ yẹ ká máa ṣòwò yẹn. Majority business tá à ń ṣe ní bíbá ó yẹ kó jẹ́ bí franchise ni. Ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ pàwọn náà lè ṣe franchise ni. But àjókòó sí ibi tá a ti ń ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ wa. We are talking about when we have land, when we have the people. Aláwọn èèyàn tó wáṣẹ́ nísìnyí tó wà nísàlẹ̀. Àwa jókòó sí abroad àti the big man, big woman. Wọ́n tẹ̀lé bàbá kan náà bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá. Ní Yorùbá nation wọn ló ń sọ. Ó dẹ̀ ti lò 40 years l'Amẹ́ríkà. One thing to note, however, akí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ẹni Ọlọ́run ní ti Mùsùlùmí, Kristẹni àti oníṣẹ̀ṣe, is that despite the widespread belief that Fulani are our greatest enemy, I can say categorically that our fight for independence is not with Fulani. Fulani bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe. Àwọn politicians yìí ni. The Fulani, according to this article, do not have, and the way they can post it on the platform lórí koikimedia àti Koiki Oduduwa, and they don't copy it níbẹ̀. The Fulani do not have the might to withstand the Yoruba, which is why they are hiding behind the uniform of the Nigerian army. International convention prohibit them from suppressing the will of the people. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ò mọ̀ pé àwọn àmì tẹ̀yìn sọ yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ òfin àgbáyé, ìyẹn mo ṣe ń ránṣẹ́ sí wọn pé gbogbo tó ń plan ó ti dọ́wọ́ tèmi. Because a máa kódà àtẹni tó mọ̀ pa mọ̀ òun tó ń hide sábẹ́ ministry Nigeria army, gbogbo yín ní picture yín, a máa gbé yín lọ sí international criminal court. Ẹ máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ni. And they know that. International convention prohibits them from suppressing the will of the people, which is what I have said here so many times. Tí bá lọ ka bíbá fún yín again, based on tí Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá ń sọ, ó wà lára tí máa ń kà ní bíbá. Ìyẹn number 4. All armed action or repressive measures. Repressive ni pé nǹkan tó fẹ́ force nǹkan mọ́ wa ló máa kó sójà jáde, máa yìnbọn pa yín ni. Ìgbọ́dọ̀ ti ń ṣe yẹn. All armed action of repressive measures of all kinds directed against dependent people shall cease in order to enable them to exercise peacefully, freely, their right to complete independence. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká complete ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni? Ká máa pariwo Yorùbá nation now. No. A fẹ́ kúrò lórí Yorùbá nation now. A fẹ́ wá sórí pé Yorùbá nation ti wà nísìnyí ká tó máa sọ nǹkan míì láti fi protect àwọn èèyàn wa nílé. So, just as Kayode Mola is saying here, I have said the same thing and I'm reading it again. All armed action or repressive measures of all kinds directed against dependent people shall cease in order to enable them to exercise peacefully and freely their right to complete independence, and the integrity of their national territory shall be respected. Lọ́jà fúnlẹ̀ Haúsá o. Àgbálẹ̀ lọ ṣe àwọn tó ń gbalẹ̀ káàkiri bíi colonial master níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Káàkiri gbalẹ̀ káàkiri. Àgbálẹ̀ Ìgbò. Ilẹ̀ ṣe gan ni bàbá mi Olúwatóyìn Àyà. Ilẹ̀ tá à ń gbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni. So, ntí Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá sọ níbí báyìí nísìnyí, òun náà lèmi náà ti ń sọ, ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Òfin wà lágbàáyé, ẹ̀yin lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, yes, wọ́n lè ṣe jàǹbá, but kò síbi tó lè sá lọ. Kódà kọ́ lọ máa disguise. Ìjọ́kíjọ́ tá a bá ti mọ̀ pé ìlú ìlẹ́ni yẹn wà, ó wà lára àwọn tó pa àwọn èèyàn wa, à ń fa lọ sí International Criminal Court. That's what some of you don't understand. There is a law around the world. Mo kí ìyá wa Oyetope Adesanya. Thank you so much, Mickey Barbs. Prince Adeola Olamilekan. Prince is not a pet name. Àwọn ìran ọmọọba ni wọ́n. Michael Cross, thank you so much for coming. Light, good evening and welcome. The time now is 15 minutes past midnight. Is now the 3rd of October 2022, the month of where things is going to happen as we continue the campaign. But we expect, Sharon declare as at January, as at this year, in 1991, Soviet Union, àwọn tó mọ̀ kọ́ máa pín ti mọ̀, àwọn kan doubt, Soviet Union lè pín níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ní 1991. Nígbà tó máa di December 26, wọ́n dissolve ẹ̀ ní 15 countries. Àwọn kan tẹ̀ dúró, wọ́n declare kúrò lára ẹ̀ ní. Yugoslavia break up. Prince Tunde Adeboye, welcome as well. I cite every single one of you on our Instagram channel, on Twitter. And I say good evening, Ola Maris. Let's continue. There's what they call International Convention prohibit. That was a point on prohibit. War fún wọn láyè láti suppress the will of the people which are asking for self-determination. That is our right. And let me quickly open that again so that you can see it in this broadcast as I've done so in so many of my broadcasts. There's no need for us to be concerned. There's no need for us to be fearful. Indigenous people, we have the right. Indigenous people and the United Nations Human Rights System. Not that alone, we also have the indigenous people have the right to self-determination. Don't let any media, both in Nigeria or any other blogger, tell you that we do not have the right and what we are doing is a crime against humanity. And as you can see right here, United Nations Declaration on the right of the indigenous people. And I think I'm going to put this as well more. We are koikimedia. I'm going to try and put it now as we going to continue. Once again, a very good evening. We end this broadcast at exactly 40 minutes more. So I'll still take calls between that, but at exactly 1 a.m., I will officially end the program. If you want to send a message to me, info@koikimedia.com or musakalam@gmail.com. Omoba Uduwaye. The line is still open if you want to get involved, and you only call the studio line +44 74 044 05917. My name is Olami Koiki. So let's complete the Emola article. International convention prohibit them from suppressing the will of the people who desire to enact their human right to self-determination, which is exactly what I've showed you here. We have the right to self-determination, and it is not a crime. Rather, our major obstacle is and will continue to be the Yoruba elite. Àwọn olówó Yorùbá, àwọn politicians yìí, àwọn jẹgúrújẹrá, àwọn olè, àwọn bàráwò bánsá. A lot of people that are probably saying, I just read a comment here, Mr. Koiki, àwọn military don't prepare for yín fún rally kí lẹ máa ṣe sí. I am not doing a movie. All I just say to our people is, we will come out for the rally, which is a peaceful rally that we're expecting. And if the military comes out, the international community will be watching a lot of things on the news from koikimedia and all other media as well. But if anybody is expecting me to tell you exactly what we're going to do, I am not acting a film. We just tell our people that you have the right under international convention, which is what we are saying to our people. Yes, the military have the right to come out, but they don't have the right to kill us. If they kill us, the international community will be watching. But if you want me to come here and tell you, hey, I'm a Shebai, no. You're not going to get that from me. Okay? Rather, our major obstacle is and will continue to be the Yoruba elite who are intent on perpetuating the slave trade that ostensibly was abolished decades ago. Knowing fully well that all those things cannot work. It is the Yoruba elite and the so-called well-to-do middle class who have helped to destroy Nigeria and who continue to benefit from its ruination. They are the ones holding us back, and so they are the obstacle that we must overcome. Kálẹ̀ rò pé máa pe sójà nígbà tá a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ rally, ìbáwọn governors yìí ni àtàwọn politicians yìí. Àbáwọn kan lọ pé sójà fáwọn ọmọ tó pa ní Lekki toll gate. And this one is going to be different. They are the ones holding us back, and so they are the obstacle that we must overcome. We must make them understand that no election in Nigeria will result in a favorable outcome for the Yoruba nation. Buhari's 8-year rule has clearly demonstrated this. In fact, Buhari's misrule has given some people cause to praise his predecessor, even though the failings of his predecessors were the reason Buhari was elected instead of him in the first place. In order to avoid conflict amongst our countrymen, we have been cautious in how we have maneuvered the self-determination shift. Most of the time, politicians, whether you support APC, PDP, NNPC, AAC, we are not fighting you. We don't have any reason to fight any one of you that are in support of these political parties. Just as Kayode Mola says there. So as to avoid colliding with the vested interests of our greedy elite. However, as the implementation phase is imminently drawing, we must stand firm. And wá torí pé a ní àbáyíjà then support politicians káwá sọ pé our coward láti má take the bold step to go into the next thing and declare Yoruba nation. Nítorí pé àwọn kan tẹ̀ wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ọmọ ọ̀tá kìíní kan àwọn ọmọ kìíní màkọ́ máa rẹ́rìn ní pé ṣé ìyà ò jẹ wọ́n náà ìyà ń jẹ wọ́n náà àwọn tẹ̀ ń dárúkọ yẹn they are suffering kò sí náà kò sómi àwọn tó lówó kan ṣẹ̀ bọ̀ lálàáfíà because àwọn tó ní wọ́n ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn ní gbogbo ìgbà. Imagine you have money and every day people have to come and knock on your door for money. Ìwọ gan máa sú ẹ náà. And they are Yoruba people from Kwara State to Kogi State to Ondo State to Ekiti State to Osun State to Oyo State to Lagos State. We have Yoruba people that are probably, yes, die hard of the politicians. But that does not mean that we will be coward to give in and cave in for them. We will push further to continue to enlighten them and tell them the reason why better kí gbogbo wa jọ push ọ̀rọ̀ Yoruba nation. Tó bá dẹ̀ náà wọ́n gbọ́, we will declare Yoruba nation in the midst of that as well. We must stand firm in our insistence for Yoruba sovereignty. There can be no room for compromise. Torí pé ọmọ ẹni kan ṣé ìdí kẹfẹrẹ ká gbélẹ̀kẹ̀ lọ sí jẹmọ ẹlòmíì irọ́ lẹ pa láyé àtijọ́. This is a battle that we must win. We must remove the fear domicile ní igbá àyà wa ní alẹ́ ìtẹ́ ń gbọ́ mi. Ẹ yọ fear yẹn kúrò. Ọ̀run yabọ̀ ni. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀. And we have a better opportunity. Don't let illiterate people, don't let gullible people, don't let people to push you and tell you that, oh, they will not declare. These are gullible people that wants to take us backwards. Kí la wá ń pariwo Yorùbá nation fún? We are doing everything according to the international community. We are engaging them, we are telling them who we are. And they know already, but we are just reminding them. We are reclaiming back our right. Lówó ta fẹ́ fi bá wọn jà. Náà fi bá yẹn kankan jà o. Ẹ má gbógun wá sí Nàìjíríà ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Bàbá Adeboye sọ pé ogun ti wà Nàìjíríà òun lélẹ̀. Òun lọ sọ sí bíbá. Nigeria is at war. Let no one deceive you. Pastor Enoch Adeboye ní kọ́ mo sọ. Let's come back here. As we approach the Yoruba International Mega Rally, we like it, International Mega Rally. Ẹ má convince ẹ pẹ̀lú àwọn rally tó ń lọ nílé lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. The International Mega Rally scheduled this year to take place both at home and amongst the diaspora. We must prepare fervently to attend en masse. Mo ń lọ bíṣẹ́ serious nìyẹn. Ẹ tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ pa bíṣẹ́ yẹn jẹ for 2 days. Kí bíṣẹ́ kan máa béèrè pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kan sọ pé ẹni yẹn ti lọ sí rally ní Trafalgar Square torí pé ìlú ẹ̀ ti declare Yoruba nation. And we are, so I thought you are Nigerian. No, we are not Nigerians. The Bible to declare Yoruba nation. Gbogbo wa pátápátá tá wà abroad. A gbọ́dọ̀ lọ sọ fún gbogbo department tá bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ pé à ń ṣe Nigeria mọ́. Even if you have the passport of that country or the resident, we must go and update our details with them as quickly as possible because it will also fast track and help those at home. Kò ṣe pé kó declare Yoruba nation. Àwa tá wà níta náà. Even nǹkan tó bá yẹ pé o ní passport ìlú mi. Go and tell them that you are no longer Nigerian, you are now a nation of our own. It will help us. Many of the diaspora are already planning their travel to Nigeria. If you can make it to Nigeria at that time, so be it. So we in the Yorubaland also rise up and seize this great opportunity. Gbogbo ẹni Yorùbá tó ń gbọ́ mi tó wà nílé, ẹ prepare fún opportunity tí kò gbọdọ̀ já mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Bí ó bá já mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ tí kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Gbogbo wa pátápátá la máa jẹgba inú ọdún iná ni kò lè gbọdọ̀ jọ ọdún mi. We cannot afford to lose this opportunity. Ogun ti wà nínú ilé kò ṣàwà là ń gbógun bọ̀. Bàbá Adeboye ti bá mi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Nigeria is at war. Let no one deceive you, Pastor Enoch Adeboye of Redeemed Christian Church of God. Ọlọ́run bá ń dá mi dá yín sí bàbá. Bàbá yẹn ti kó padà sọ délẹ̀ náà ni. There is no excuse for coming out this time. Our esteemed leaders of self-determination struggle will be there at the center of it all. A máa ṣe interview lórí CNN, a máa ṣe interview lórí Union, a máa ṣe interview lórí NBC. When we declare Yoruba nation, ẹ rí gbogbo àwọn media tí wọ́n bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n máa bá gbogbo àwọn leaders wa sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n máa pè wọ́n fún interview. RT, Euro News, BBC, Sky News. Àtúrò àwa náà báyìí nísìn. I'm busy, interview upon interview. Gbogbo paper lágbàáyé ló máa kọ. So why are we scared? The least we can do in response is to give our total support and make unignorable statement, not just to Nigeria, but to the entire international community that the Yoruba nation is ready to stand independently among the committee of nations like Singapore, like South Korea and Japan. Or one may ask, are we truly ready? From the awareness campaign traveling from village to village across towns and cities, the answer is a resounding yes. Wọ́n ti gbọ́ níbì kan, wọ́n á máa gbọ́ nígbà tá a bá declare. A gbọ́dọ̀ dúró de gbogbo yòó. Ẹlòmíì á máa fà yín wọnú ẹ̀ ní bí ìyá mi kan ṣe sọ níjọ́ kan. Má kó wa sínú ẹ̀wọ̀ ìtì rẹ̀ dì gbogbo yòó tí gbọ́. Nígbà tá a bá ti declare Yorùbá nation, ẹ lọ ra transmitter ká ṣe proper radio. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ti ìtẹ̀dáwó fún tí ẹ fẹ́ para yín lé lórí, We must, however, be conscious of choppy waters while we are declaring ojú agbọ́dọ̀ wà sókè. Agbọ́dọ̀ ìgbà mo sọ pé àwa náà máa busy 24/7 because time yẹn agbọ́dọ̀ ránjú kalẹ̀ báyìí. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn? Ṣé wọ́n ti lọ sign kankan tó máa pa wá lára? Gbogbo nǹkan la gbọ́dọ̀ fojú sí, and it is going to be every single one of us. We must continue to show respect for the constituted authority, but at the same time hold firm with our demand. This is the time for action. We are nearing on our journey the point of no return, just as the British government during the colonial era was taking people through Badagry of the point of no return. Ẹni tó bá ní ọkàn ẹ̀ nísìn, ẹ better step down. Pé ká má declare yẹn, a máa declare. Gbogbo ẹni tí ọkàn ọba gbé lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ nísìn, ó better kẹ́ close the chapter pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe Yorùbá nation, àbẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa. Ìran Yorùbá fẹ́ lọ àsìkò ti tó. Láì ṣe iyèméjì, láì ṣe tàbítàbí, láì ṣe ṣùgbọ́n, a máa declare níṣẹ́ nínú ọdún yìí. Gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa la sọ fún pé kó prepare mind wọn kó fún wa ní that declaration. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ọ̀kan kún yín láyà jẹ. Ẹni tí ò bá ní àyà ẹ̀ ẹyọ ẹ̀mí yín kúrò lára Yorùbá nation tá a bá gbà tán táwa declare gbogbo awuyewuye tó bá ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀ ẹ máa bá wa lọ́nà. Ìgbà tẹ́mi dé London, ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kan ti dé before mi, àwọn kan tún dé lẹ́yìn mi. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. At the point of no return, afẹ́ máa ṣe analysis kankan lọ́mọ títí mọ́ nísìn, títí dìgbà tá a máa fi declare, and that can be between now and the end of this year, which is December 31st, 2022. A gbọ́dọ̀ wọ 2023 ká tó ṣe máa sọ pé yẹn àìtí declare, àfẹ́ mọ́ tá à ń ṣe mọ́ nìyẹn. Ẹ̀rù ẹ̀yọkúrò. The point of no return, in as much as we are enthused by the prospect of a better future, we must also understand that this will be highly emotional. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ẹni tó ti wà pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà, ṣé pé Nàìjíríà máa lọ? We understand. Igbo ló fẹ́ ni máa worry, kò sí problem. Kódà Hausa ló fẹ́ ni kò sí problem. A gbọ́dọ̀ sọ final goodbye fún Nàìjíríà nínú ọdún yìí. Drizzy Fresh 123, good evening. Welcome on board. Oladiran Olaniyi, welcome on board. Joseph Ade 2008, and the rest of you that are watching us. Yes, Nadeco did what Afenifere couldn't do. If even Afenifere bá fún wa ní just a snip of what Nadeco have done, just as my brother just said there on Twitter. Thank you so much. I just captured that your message. Hey, imagine tó bá yẹ pé àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re ló push effort pé àtúnfẹ́ lọ dìbò àwọn máa support Peter Obi. Kí la fi support Peter Obi fún? I watched the word media of bàbá wa Payo Adebanjo to support Peter Obi. Kí ni Peter Obi fẹ́ wá ṣe pẹ̀lú 1999 fake constitution ni? What can he do? He can't do nothing. So why should we burn our energy for a fake country that is not working? So adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín bàbá wa Chief Ayọ̀ Padoku. At least ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ sí kèsì náà. Allow for self-determination. Ó ṣe crime. Ẹ má ẹ̀kọ́ sọ mi pé we are secessionists. Ẹ má dá àwọn TVC lóhùn, channels àti gbogbo àwọn jagbajantis media yẹn. Tá a bá declare tán, tó bá bí wọn kọ́ tún máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà pé Nàìjíríà a ṣì wà nínú Nàìjíríà. That means pé wọ́n ti disobey òfin ilẹ̀ wa nìyẹn. Nígbà tá a bá ti declare èyí tó bá ti ṣe tiwa nígbà yẹn, that means pé ó ti di kí ló ń po òyìnbó yẹn rán mi létí again. Ó ti di rántí mọ́. When we declare our nation, anybody tó bá ti listen sí kan tí government of the interim government of that time, ó ti di rán mi létí ẹni tẹ́ wà lórí platform ẹ̀ type ẹ̀ síbẹ̀ kí ẹ máa kí brain mi kó get stop. Àwọn tó bá ti listen sí wa, ọlọ́pàá ni, navy ni, sójà ni, tá a bá declare tán, you refuse to listen to us, ẹ ti ṣe sófin wa nìyẹn. This is the time for action. We are nearing our journey. Everybody don't have to support what I'm saying. We don't get supported. But bó ṣe láti rí lèmi sọ yẹn. Treason. Ẹ ṣe jàre. Òyìnbó tí mo wá nìyẹn. Treason. Ẹ tó bá mọ Yorùbá ẹ bá mi kọ́ ní Yorùbá. Treasonable offence. Treasonable felony. Àsọpá declare Yorùbá nation. TVC wá sọ pé àwọn ṣì ń sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ti treasonable offence ló máa jẹ́ nìyẹn. Ẹni Koiki ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wọn. This is a time for action. We are nearing our journey the point of no return. In as much as we are enthused by the prospect of a better future, we must also understand that this will be a highly emotional event for a lot of people. Living in a nation of over 200 million shit-hole country that we have called brothers and sisters and friends is not an easy thing. Many are married to people from other tribes. Some have children who have genuine questions about their place within the new nation or the new structure. They must be treated with respect, dignity, supported in whatever way is possible. This is the final goodbye to the country called Nigeria. It is a country we once loved. However, I can assure you that after some time, we will not miss Nigeria at all. For those of you that are probably still going to want to miss Nigeria, it's just a matter of time. It was never intended to be a functional country. It was designed to mess out with our brain. Oh, that it messed with the brain for 100 years. Now it is the time to break loose the mental shackles, binding our mind to free ourselves from the mental enslavement that continue to hold us down. I beseech you, we all rise up, speak out, and together we will make the world hear us. When our fatherland, Yoruba, call us, let us not hesitate to show our support in whatever way. If you don't want to support Koikimedia, go and support any other platform when that time comes. Because we will need every support of that time. But one thing is, let's hear what this man has to say. Everybody wants to be free.
But our historic memory includes the notion that your greatest days were under Ivan, Peter the Great, and Catherine the Great. In other words, when you could control your neighbors. And people don't want to be controlled anymore. They want to be free to chart their own course. I'll never forget the first time a man with impeccable military credentials, the warden of Rhodes House, who was Admiral of Viscount Montgomery's aide to camp in World War II, said, you know, you're going to have to leave Vietnam. For the same reason we had to leave Nigeria. We left Nigeria, it was a horrible war. 3 million people died. But we had to go, and you're going to have to go. And I said, why? He said, because they don't want you. You know, people want to chart their own course. They have to feel secure in their own identity. But our historic
Let's think about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our family leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought forth, not to bore you, first, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Ahmad Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds. in their religious beliefs and customs and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only the British intention for the country. This is thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria.
Now let's get the next video in. I'm just about 20 minutes away before the end of the program. As usual, we appreciate all our listeners. I've just got one more video. Dr. Ugo, I'm sure some of you remember your audience play so that the benefit of our listeners on the that are watching us as well. Once again, we appreciate every one of us. We are now at the point of no return. Rumba wa gbogbo eyokuro nisi. Ẹni tẹ́rù bá ń bà níbi tá a dé nísìn tó ń wà a little bit uncomfortable. You have the right to withdraw and just go and sit somewhere, close your all social media account, come out of all the groups, but don't tell us we are not ready. We are not cowards, and we can never be cowards in our land. I've watched a lot of documentary about how the British were moving around. Àwọn tó ń kó lọ nígbà yẹn, àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké ló ń kó lọ sójú ogun nígbà yẹn tó ń káàkiri. And they were able to conquer a lot. Àwọn ọ̀nà péjà o. Má lọ misquote me again o. But I'm a defend ara wa. With anything that we have, and defend ara wa pẹ̀lú media wa, and defend ara wa tí gbogbo bá jáde ní gbogbo àgbáyé tí a denounce nationality yẹn nígbà tó bá declare Yoruba nation. That will first give a problem. We denounce it, like I said, even if you have a different status. Gbogbo iná lẹ ní passport Nigeria that feel lolly, so that any passport the British, any Canadian, anything. So that is the first thing that everybody will do. We just get the passport out of our way, so that at the survive by any way, kì í ṣe aládùn yẹn mọ́, because at the nation wa. So let's go for me. Audio. All right, let me do something and then I'll bring it back again.
They wanted to be separate from the country that
once again, a very good evening. 20 minutes before 1 a.m. where we are now going to end the broadcast very soon. Okay.
They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us, which was this country of Nigeria.
Okay, let me start it again. Now let's watch this together.
They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us, which was this country of Nigeria, where they kind of took a bunch of independent nations who don't have anything to do with each other, don't even speak each other's language, don't relate. Many of them were even enemies and warring at the time, smushed them all together and drew these arbitrary lines around them and called them countries and named those countries.
Right.
And then said, now y'all get along and do a country for us and be a union for us. And then go through, contentious, bloody independence processes that never really yield any real independence. You're still part of a commonwealth afterwards.
True.
And you have the eternal meddling in your affairs and the eternal extraction of your resources and the eternal fomenting of divisiveness and infighting in order to be able to control you. This is what an oppressor does, a colonizer does. These are tactics and strategies of dominance.
Right.
We were subjected to that as a larger unit of Nigeria. And then when the Igbo people said, we want our own thing, let's go and do that. Well, it so happened to be that the territory that this new country of Biafra was going to be in included very, very rich oil reserves. And the British were not going to let go of that.
Wow.
And the people that they had put in power, that their puppet Nigerian governments weren't going to do that either, because they needed it for the Nigerian project.
Right.
And Britain needed it for its own interests and uses. So Great Britain got directly involved in this civil war and in the war for independence, and decided that they would do everything to make sure that Biafra did not go.
Wow.
And this everything meant directly funding genocide of the people of Biafra. They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us, which was this country of Nigeria.
So that's Dr. Ugo Anaya. And on the other side there you can see our father, our uncle, the slain Otelia Oluwagbenga Olabi has been buried yesterday in the United States of America. May his soul rest in peace. We pray for the family, we pray for the wife, the children. We pray for the Yoruba people that have also lost an icon. He lives in America, in Maryland, he lives in Canada. He lives abroad as a diaspora for more than 30 years. The hotel that was built have not even been 1 year before the Fulani terrorists eventually took his life. As he was crying before he was killed, he was pleading for his life with these same marauder Fulanis. But the Fulanis are not bothered because they have so many people that they can kidnap at any time, at any day, in that contraction called Nigeria without anybody able to rescue and support him. Eventually, as we know, he was now killed. And as we say all the time, may Nigeria not happen to any one of us. Let's hear the sound of what happened before we close this broadcast. That is the sound that we have, and so many other of our father that was killed by the Fulani terrorists. Omutefegboy was when he was pleading for his life, and after that, we will finish this program.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. How? Fine, thank you, sir. What do you have this night? That's what I'm saying. The money is now 1.4. Ogweni, do you hear me? Yes, sir. Ogweni, I will not go sleep here today. I will take this Baba to go. Sorry, please. Why Baba is telling you need to give me the money? You don't go bring me. Send money for Baba. Send your own money. I said he has asked me to talk to people, and I've talked to them. If they have given me the money, why I don't go bring them? Okay, you can't waste my time, Abby. No, besides they waste your time, oh. Please. What is what I do now? The thing where they are, I'm trying to see if I can get it up to 2 million tomorrow. Make it come. 2 million. We just get 1.4 now. You know, I told you in the afternoon when you called me, said the thing never, it don't go beyond it's less than 1 million. But now, it don't reach 1.4. You and that 2 million, God will punish you. Sorry, sir. You hear me? Sir, sorry. You and that money, God will punish you and your family. Sorry, sir. They talk to me with the time they say 2 million, Abby. Sorry, sir. Your brother, I don't tell me saying go give me 50 million. You go talk about 2 million. No, go talk to your dad 2 million. No call this number tomorrow. Sorry, sir. And what will be meaning for that, sorry? I just beg you now. Now this is what I do for you. I said the man where they there with you. Don't be say you get the money for hand. If you say you get where the money they, I mean I go just go by there, I go pick up. our bank, they take loan, they do the business. So for me now, to get the money, I just talk to people to help us. Listen, personally, people for outside country, them go school. Who go give them money for that people who for the outside country? Those friends where they outside country, I don't talk to them. They say they will call me. I never hear anything. Okay. Tomorrow. Not call me. I'll call you tomorrow morning. I'll call you tomorrow morning. Let's see what happens between now and tomorrow morning. Sorry. I beg, Oga. We will give you the money. Wait now. Ọlọ́run ó tù í sílẹ̀, Ọlọ́run ó tù ẹ́ sílẹ̀ ní sùúrù. Kò sówó ni. Àní ṣéwù ni ó fi ilẹ̀ nígbà tí ìjẹ́ kó tó wá jẹ́ pé òun bá ráyè jáde nísìn. Ṣé àbọ̀ yóò lọ àrí sí báńkì? Ok, kí n fílẹ̀ kó wá lọ àrẹ́jọ fún mi kí n dúró lórí àmì. Ẹ má bínú, ṣùgbọ́n ètò bá èmi àwọn èèyàn wọn tí mò ń pè wọn ò tí ì sẹ́ǹdì kankan sí mi ni. Màá tún gbìyànjú. Kí ni solution tẹ́lẹ̀ ká ṣe báyìí? Ká tàn ní àbíká ọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ má pa Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ dárúdú ìyá pààyàn lọ́la láàárọ̀ ọ̀la òun tá a bá rí ká kó wá. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ni. Kò ní kó sí omi ní fún ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ 20 fún 30 naira dẹ̀rẹ̀. Kí ni tó bá di 5 naira ọ̀la àlejò torí kò ṣe bá dẹ̀ fún. Ẹ dákun n kò síbi tó yẹ wà ẹ̀jẹ̀ iná ẹ̀ mọ bí ìlú ṣe rí. Ẹ mọ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹja pàmò yìí tó bá pàmò yìí a máa wá wo ẹni tó máa jẹ owó yẹn ká wá pọ̀ ní sẹ́yìn tó òun yẹn ká rí mu. Oníjọ agbára wa ẹ mọ wá ní yẹ̀sí la fi ẹni máa rí tá a fi mọ orí ní jọ ẹ. Ẹ mọ bínú àní ẹjọ́ ìjọ wo ẹ jẹ́ kó bá tẹ rí bíi 3 tàbá rí 3 láàárọ̀ ọ̀la ẹ dín kó wá fún yín Ọlọ́run ràn yín lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ẹ̀tùrẹ́ lù mí ẹ̀tùrẹ́ ìrí mi. Kò ní dáa fún ọ̀dà mọ́ bínú. Kò ní dáa fún fámìlì yẹn ló sọ. Ẹ ṣe. Wọ́n sọ fún polisi ọ̀rọ̀ 20 ẹ̀ sọ fún ọ̀rọ̀ 3 àmì. Ṣé tó bá wà ní
well ìyẹn lẹ gbọ́ ẹ jẹ́ remind yìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ọ̀wọ̀ ẹ rántí sound yẹn. That is Owo massacre. Let's give you another angle. Again, to find another angle. Though we can't show the video, but at least you can hear the sound. And then the last one from that our massacre. This one. And all these and so many reasons why we are saying for us to be saved, for us to live a better life, for us not to be caught up in all this atrocity that is going on in Nigeria. Let us now know that we are at the point of no return. As we end the program tonight, we should remember that Nigeria will continue to suck the blood of millions of us should we do nothing. For those that still want to be part of Nigeria, we do not want to be part of Nigeria. You've killed a lot of us already. You've destroyed us. You've actually brought backwardness on us. And we are saying that the time that we spent with Nigeria is now officially over. We don't want to be associating our name with Nigeria, as Nigeria is a crime scene. Let us get our own real identity. Let us be identified as the real who we are, as the Yorubas that have been known for thousands of years, that has evidence base. But Nigeria, for those of you that love it so much, you might love it because of so many reasons that you can go in and out of Nigeria. What about these individuals, millions of them in different parts of Yorubaland, that will probably not even get to the airport, not to talk about getting closer to the government? Let us now say, the time is now for us to reclaim what this man did on behalf of the British government in 1914. If we leave to remain in Nigeria, we will see more of these images. We will see terrorists moving around with AK-49, AK-47, as you can see in this image. These videos are in Nigeria, operating with impunity. The question is, who is going to be the next? They've destroyed Nigeria. They've lied. They killed him. And they want you to remain in the slave by taking the bread rather than the key. We can all stop it together. The monster is not going until we say to the monster, we will take you down. Our fathers were killed. Our uncles were killed by the terrorists. They keep coming because the border is open to them. And they will not stop coming until we all say enough is enough. And that is why I'm saying again today, are we going to do something? Being a coward. I know we are not cowards. We can do something with our intellectuals. We can make our name to be great as one people, one language, one culture. The journey starts now. Every time we delay between now and the end of the year will not be favorable to every single one of us. My name is OLAMILEKAN. Have a very good morning, and the rest of the day, I'll be back again tomorrow. I don't have a timeline for my program, but I'm sure you will catch it up, or if otherwise, you will watch a replay. If you have sent a message I have not responded, bear with me. There's so many messages, and I'm trying my best to reach that your message. For those of you TMB for flags, production is ongoing, and as soon as they are ready, we'll be shipping them again to Yorubaland. And when they get home, we will try as much as possible to distribute them according to what we have. You don't see IGBOHO. Have you never seen IGBOHO? IGBOHO, Ongonti were confused. Alafia ni baba wa. And those that keep putting those rumors that IGBOHO is sick, IGBOHO is not, I got a message, a call from a journalist in Nigeria, asking me where's Igboho. I said Igboho is fine. As long as you speak to koikimedia, the spokesman, and I still remain the only spokesman. Bye for now.
ìran ọmọ Yorùbá ọlọ́pọlọ pípé ọ̀mọ̀wé ń bẹ àgbẹ̀ ń bẹ iṣẹ́ ọnà ń bẹ kákó ìmọ̀ra kápọ́nilé káyéni sí kásọ̀rọ̀ tútù tó yọbi lápò òwe ìbáwí òwe ìkìlọ̀. Òwe ìwúrí ọ̀rọ̀ bá sọnù. Àkàlẹ̀ èdè ń kọ́ ibi gíga. Adéwálé fún wa kìí gàgà ọjọ́ kìí gàgà oṣù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni iwájú lójúkùn ń gbé. Òkè níjọ òkè ẹ̀yà fún mi.
Bye for now. Thank you so much for every single one of us that stayed tuned. From Yami Ojora, Yami Liz Dada, my mom, and the rest of you all, and every single body. I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.